Welcome to the Crow's Nest, a local music podcast set up in your spaceship to help build communications between musicians here on the local scene of Belfast, Northern Ireland.
Action. Welcome to another episode of the Crow's Nest podcast. I'm here with Romeo Indigo Romeo.
See?
Welcome, guys.
Hello.
I got the rebranded name correct. Yes.
You did.
Yes.
You did.
We're moving away from RIR.
Yeah, that's connotations that my Northern Irish brethren failed to mention to me when we originally picked the name. So
Oh, right, okay.
Take them into account whenever I said yes, that's a good name.
there is that problem as well. So yeah.
Cool. Right. So I was gonna kick off. I'm going back on a little history lesson here, but I kind of wanted to go back to when I first met Aaron, because you're the first person I met from this band a long time ago.
Fuck you guys. Me and Stu way back.
We did. We go way back. I remember.
It's not legal in this country, okay? Hashtag equality, guys. Come on.
It was from a Battle of the Bands thing we played.
Yes.
You guys were these are one we met you at the show. We were playing as Hit the B Button, and we both didn't get through.
Yeah. I remember
is how
both
we
being
met.
really angry about it.
Yeah, we were pretty pissed off.
I remember they announced that we didn't get through, and I was pretty drunk at that point, so I was giving off at the judges. And then all I remember saying is, right, it's got to be Hit the B Button that doesn't go through. And then they announced the other band, and I was like, that's so bullshit!
Yeah, we were just like, it's got to be one of us, right?
Like, I was suddenly like, I didn't even care that we didn't get through anymore. It was just a travesty that B Button didn't get through as
That's
well.
But yeah, I just the friendship sort of started because after that, we had been talking about like, how do we do something else on the music scene? How do we push ourselves a little more? And we reached out to you guys to try and like, we wanted to do a losers show. Was our idea was to like put on a thing for the people who didn't get through in this big competition thing because it was like so annoying, and it was all a good idea until we tried to rent a venue. But yeah, and I know it being too expensive, we didn't do it. But the good thing was that we emailed you guys and you got back, and yeah, there was sort of a thing there. So then we started playing shows together, which was beautiful.
We played a good few, I think, over the years.
We did. Well, that's what we've been through so many things together. All of my funny stories have Thieves of Ennui on it too. Like we played to an empty room together at Warren Point.
Warren Point,
we
where there
literally we played to each other. It was like that was a loop.
that was a pretty it was a long drive to play to no one.
Yeah, that was. We had that, and then we also had the travesty of the Lurgan show where we had to play on the
beer keg
because they didn't bring a snare stand.
Well, it wasn't just they didn't bring a snare stand, they didn't bring a drum kit. And then the drummer of that band had the audacity to pick a fight with our drummer.
Yeah.
We failed to, I don't know, read the universe and realize that we needed to bring a drum kit.
Yeah, they
And
said they
then-
were setting it up.
No, and we managed to find a local guy who had a drum kit.
Yeah, that was the funniest part. Was they just like a go-to Lurgan based person who's like, oh yeah, I've got a drum kit. That guy has a
Got a drum kit, but no snare stand. So then we had to use a beer keg, which the inside rim of the beer keg was like just slightly the wrong size, so the snare would like slip to an angle.
We
And
cable tied it on.
we tried to cable tie, that didn't really work, and it was just way too high.
I mean, to be fair to them, the venue didn't think they were providing anything. Like, it was this other band. I'll not name them, but they said that they were setting it all up, and they really didn't set it up at all. No, no bad vibes.
Shame.
But I think now, to be honest with you, they've got like there's a different lad that's doing the promotion in that bar now.
Yeah.
We were down there the other night. Really, really good vibe. You know, really helpful.
Sweet.
Really on it.
That's cool. We haven't been there in a while. That's worth
It's
checking
worth it.
out.
You just got to
actually.
tell Adam you're not going there. Tell him you're going somewhere else.
He
and
might
then
have like
He's all right at the
PTSD or
last
something.
minute.
Just missed the team. Just
Yeah,
tranquilize
we
it.
just threw him in the back. But yeah, that was sort of the start of our friendship, and then obviously Thieves of Ennui we split up. I played with Neil Paul and Slick District for a while, and then RIR formed. Sorry, I feel like I have to keep it brief.
I like RIR though. I like this. Comes off the tongue.
It just shut up, Simon. You can have the microphone in a second. It's coming to your bit now.
I know it was. We gotta take it at turns.
So, like, from our side, me and Simon had met at work through our unified love of memes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Tunings.
Yeah, memes and weird tunings. And then, yeah, we were always like, no, we're going to play something together. We'll play something together. And it must have been, like, over a year before we actually got around to jamming something out. And then...
Yeah, because
Yeah, I remember.
Hey.
I remember talking to you guys at a certain point in the in-betweeny stage. We were, I don't know, we were out randomly one night together. I can't remember what it's for, but we all seen each other, weren't we?
I vaguely remember that.
Maybe you weren't there, Aaron. I was talking to
Maybe
you
a few
because
tinnies, but
yeah,
Or two
it was so bad that I was like, I can't really remember.
When you guys did the show at the bank there...
the Mount was it the Mount?
No,
No,
it wasn't that. It was before that. You guys hadn't even picked a name yet.
Yeah, had we even got a band together? I'm not even sure if we'd had a band together by that point.
That was a while. It
But
was a
we
while
were,
back.
Yeah, we'd planned on getting some sort of project together.
We were going to be a band. We were...
Yeah,
It was.
we were
meant
like
to be.
Tenacious D, you know the way they they're just two guys and they're like, yeah, we're gonna take over the world. Yeah, so we were like that.
We were like that dirty thought before you acknowledge that you're going to try and get some.
The little inkling in the back of your mind.
Tonight's the night.
Tonight's the night.
Away like, ooh, hang on a minute.
So yes,
Amazing.
it was like that. It was like
Yeah.
a pre-coital inkling. And then we'd so we just started meeting up with the with
Gone now.
with Josh. Yes, the
Is a bassist
who
from
was in
Thieves of Only.
yeah.
Yeah.
And we started jamming some stuff. Aaron had a few riffs. I had a few riffs that I'd been sitting on for a while. And yeah, we just met up a couple of times in your house and just played riffs.
Yeah. And that's that.
Chris is gone. Chris is just done.
So yeah, and then we found a drummer, and that was kind of it. We started. We hadn't got a name. Where the name actually came from, Aaron had designed like a logo.
Yeah.
It designed like a logo, which was
Super original, by the way.
it was totally original. Like nobody
Yeah.
else had done it until like we actually decided that was our logo, and then we started seeing it everywhere. Yeah. No, but the thing is,
My
like,
favorite
yeah,
thing was anytime I saw one, I would like take a picture, and be like, "Hey lads," I just sent it to them.
yeah, we started just taking whenever we saw it in the wild, just take a photo and look. It's still a good logo, Aaron. Don't worry, it's cool. But yeah, so Aaron had designed the logo, and he's like, I don't know what to call it though.
Yeah. Oh, what? So the letters were there.
The
though?
letters came first.
Yeah.
Like, it was the design
With no name.
Yeah. So there was like no name attached to it, so we couldn't really.
Oh, right. Okay.
interesting.
It is interesting because a lot of people ask me where the name comes from for you guys whenever I
Well,
said
it
you're
was-
coming on the podcast, and I have no idea.
Well, that was it. Me and him literally just sat there talking shit. I used to work in a certain area of where we were sort of gated in, and I wasn't allowed out. It's like a
Gated
secure
in.
area,
Whoa.
basically. So it's literally
Sounds
like a little
harsh.
mini prison where your dreams go to die, and then...
I hope they don't see this.
No, they're good now. I got out, but anyway.
Jailbreak.
So Simon would sit on one side of the gate, and I would sit on the other, and we would just talk crap for hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
like
basically-
Home Improvement, like if one of you is like,
Yeah, that's it. It's just
Wilson.
a Wilson thing like this, you know. Well, I don't know. But yeah, so we literally just sat there the one night, and we had the 3 letters, and I was like, we should just call it Romeo Indigo Romeo, like phonetically, and he was like, yeah, or just RIR.
the idea was just to have like the phonetic alphabet. So I was like, yeah, Romeo Indigo Romeo, and they were like, yeah, that sounds really good. And then Indigo's not actually the phonetic alphabet for I in
It's
India.
in America.
allowed to say India anymore. She's now Indigo.
Is it? Yeah, they've changed it now. They've changed.
Is that because of us? I'm pretty sure that's because of us. Yeah.
They've changed like 4 or 5
They're like, that sounds far more.
There's a couple which are not so socially accepted.
Yeah, like
anymore.
India's not allowed anymore.
Yeah, so you can't just run around going, I don't know, his car registration starts with an India. You know, people might get, I
Yeah.
don't fucking know, but it's Indigo.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Just how dare you name a country?
Yeah. So. Right. How do I find my place back?
You don't moving on. So what's the name?
Moving on. that's how I met Aaron. Right?
About right, yeah.
Yeah, and I always think it's weird how I met Simon. It freaks me out because
Remind
Simon,
me.
right? Simon and Adam from Hit the B Button, our drummer, they went to university together, but not here.
Yeah, like 200-300 miles away.
Yeah, over
Yeah.
in Leeds, Scarborough in Leeds.
It's Scarborough, yeah. So it wasn't even the Scarborough Uni. It was like a offshoot campus
Yeah.
of the University of Hull.
So you guys met there, and coincidentally, we're both from here,
Yeah.
right? So the part that freaks me out is that whenever I was younger, one of my best friends, he hung around with this guy all the time, Ian, right?
Yeah.
So I knew this guy Ian from my childhood. That's fine. I sort of moved on. I haven't seen him a lot since, whatever. And then whenever I worked at my job, I was supervisor of this department, and one of the people that worked for me was this girl, Catherine. And these were all just random people in my life. I started hanging around with Catherine. She was part of the crew. We'd all go and hang out together. And then got introduced to Simon. Adam introduced me to you. And then it freaked me out one day because I followed you on Facebook, and then I seen all these people and realized you were all part of the same family.
Yeah, they're my cousins.
And then it just blew my mind a little bit. And I was like, what?
Pepe Sylvia
It's
all over
like-
again. Pepe Sylvia! Pepe Sylvia! Pepe Sylvia! His name just keeps coming up.
There is no Carol in HR. But yeah, that freaked me out. And
Yeah.
then, yeah, well, we became good friends after that.
Yeah, for sure.
We've worked on a couple of things together.
Yeah.
Such as?
Yeah.
Such-
that's a
Such
beautiful
as?
friendship. Such as the yeah.
The Cosmic
Cosmic
Crew.
Crew.
There you go.
I can't remember.
Yeah, brother nature.
Brother Nature.
Yeah, I was actually listening to a couple of tracks off that earlier. Such a good album.
We're still pushing it. We're still pushing it.
Yeah.
There's a music video on the way, which is
The
actually
way.
What track?
being
On the way.
It's like being edited in the background. Hopefully you
We're on
can't
the way.
see that, but there's like a music video currently in editing back there. Or
What track's it for? Can you say?
Fucking
Are you allowed?
Ugandan knuckle.
Or are you keeping it secret?
Can I
yes,
just hear Ugandan knuckle?
Yeah.
Yes.
Ugandan knuckles. You know the way? Doesn't matter.
yeah, I know what you mean. Memes,
Memes. They are things.
fresh memes.
Memes.
Sexotic music videos for Sexotic.
Excellent. That was the first one I heard. Whenever you,
Yeah,
that was the
whenever I
first
sent
one.
it over, and then he sent me
You're
like
like,
a
yeah,
sample
not
back.
sure if try this, see if you're any good. And it was all right. So
Yeah, no, it was great. I used it for the whole album, and then
Beautiful.
went back to you for Don Maple, the
Yeah.
single that literally just got played on ATL last
Yeah,
night.
that's so cool.
Yeah, in my engineering, your mastering, your mix notes probably wouldn't have made it without those.
well, I do try. You know,
Yeah, you're a
this is crap. This is crap. This is not
Simon is a extraordinary engineer, and
Wouldn't say
you're.
that.
Well, I know I'm going a little bit off topic here, but you're on a Facebook page called SRH Sound. You have a website, and you've worked with loads of people on the scene now. Like you're literally just back from working
trying,
with
yeah.
Surf Green,
Yeah,
who
tracking
we've had on
drums
the
and bass
podcast
for
before.
their new track, which is sounding very good.
Yeah, it's crazy. You've worked with them, what Psychic Guys,
Psychic guys, us.
you guys, which is something I kind of want to ask you a bit about. I suppose I'll segue into that because I'm curious. So, right, you guys obviously record your own stuff. Simon engineers it. I'm sort of wondering, pros and cons wise, like, do you think that's the best way to work, or do you think it would hold you back because it's more for you guys to do? Obviously, it's cheaper, but like, is this the way you're gonna keep working? Like, because you've sort of got a free.
We should probably talk about this like as a band.
See,
Yeah, discuss it as a band
Yeah.
first before
maybe have a
you
discussion about
have
this.
any answer.
I think for me, like
No,
for
I'd-
now,
I'm-
it's ideal.
Yeah.
Like we can really sort of deep dive into things, and we're at a point where yeah, we take a time. Like everybody's got busy lives, you know what I mean? We're not
Yeah.
doing this full time.
Sure.
You know, so if it's just a case of Simon can only get together with, say, Chris, or just with Adam, or just with myself, like we can still get things done and move ahead. I think one day it would be nice to get to a situation where maybe Simon doesn't have to do as much of the production.
Yeah.
I think I would be weary of letting him come away from it completely. just
Yeah.
because he does have such a good ear.
Yep.
And I was going to say this goes no further, but it's on a podcast, and I hate bigging him up because his head's big enough anyway. But but no, he does. He has a really fantastic ear for things, and surprisingly, he's exceptionally patient when you're working with him as well.
Surprisingly, wow.
There's times like where I'll sing something, he goes, "Oh, that's great, mate. That's great. You were just a little bit sharp on just that little note." I'll be like, "Okay, cool." I'll do it again. He goes, "Yeah, that's better, but you're still sharp on just that little." But he'll sit there the whole day with me while I fuck up constantly. So it's good.
No, that's exactly what you need, man. No, I'm just sort of curious. Like, I'm not pushing, like, as in, is this what you guys specifically need to do? But for a lot of bands that might be in the same sort of position, because, like, for opening up of what we're going through is we've sort of, for Hit the B button, we've progressively what we've viewed as like going up a step every time, right? So like we start off and I engineered and produced the first EP, which was just in like a tiny apartment, and it still made like radio shows and stuff like that, so it must have been decent enough for that, but it definitely wasn't like 100%. Yeah. And then the second one we went to start together, but we recorded as a live band because we needed to, save money, and we only had so much to spend on. It was budgeted, so we had to record as a live band, then overdub the vocals. So obviously there's like little problems in there. There wasn't really much overdubbing or like putting anything into production afterwards. And then with the latest one, we've gone like all out, like spent like almost 2 years or something making this. That's maybe an exaggeration, like a year and a half trying to get it finished. But now we're at the stage where it's like we're sort of gonna go off and I think do a couple of singles here and there, and one of the first things we've done is like, let's just get Adam to do it, because what you said about Simon is how I feel about Adam in our band. Is like we couldn't do it without him, whether he was recording something for us or just being the one in the studio. But he's got the ear for it too, and he knows what makes it good. So we're just exploring that now with him, is he's going off to record our next single. So that's kind of a first for us.
Yeah.
It's I'm just curious about it.
That's really good. I've got a lot of patience for Adam.
Yeah. Beautiful
I love
man.
me and him just talk tech.
Constantly.
Shit that would just bore everybody else, but me and him are like, yeah.
I know,
Yeah,
he's
Hertz and EQ and
all that fun stuff.
decibels.
No, I'm just
Don't touch
Don't touch
decibels.
the decibels.
it's just cool that you guys have the ability to do that, because it can save you so much money. But then it's just like, it does the workload get in the way, is kind of the, do you feel it holds you back from getting on with other things at all?
I quite liked, obviously not every band has the option, like what you do yourselves do, where you have an in-house engineer, someone who knows everything they're going to do.
Yeah.
But I quite liked the fact that it's Simon not only is it someone that I know, but it's someone I play with constantly. So he knows my own, like he can tell, well, I'm going to mess up if I mess it up, basically. Like he'll work around stuff that he knows I do. So it makes me feel a lot more confident with recording, because I've recorded drums and bass and everything in the past with other people, and I find out when people are maybe as personally attached to a project, they maybe don't give it as much like attention as much, like what it needs. But when doing Simon, like he was really patient. He made, like, if I was like, I think this maybe be a bad idea, we'd really sit and back and stuff and sit and really take the time. Because when we in our newest single we're doing, like which is Whiskey, if anyone's seen that live, that's the current single we're working on, and we spent a good maybe 4 or 5 hours just tracking drums.
We were there for one song. It actually sounds pretty inefficient when you
No, but like
No.
The reason behind it was we wanted to make sure we were getting the best out of it, though, because we were
we
but
were running limited inputs, so we couldn't just fire microphones on everything, as some people have the luxury of.
You couldn't just go set up like 12, 15 mics. We had to really work around every little issue that come up as well, and work around it.
It was really good fun. We were there from it was the rehearsal space we hired, and we were there from 9 o'clock in the evening until 3 in the morning.
Something stupid.
Until we actually got home.
No,
But
that's
the time
cool.
did fly by, though. But like I've been in studios with people where you do one track and they do one take, you're done, and then they try to sort of fix it and patch it from there. And if you're having an issue, you want
fix it in the mix.
but if you're having a issue, like, oh, I didn't quite like that, can we go back in and redo that? There's some places like like they don't have the time, or we don't have like it's done, that's it. But being able to have someone who can
Even
record
just
it.
the fact that we're not really constrained by time in a lot of places, because we're not using big studios.
Yeah,
We're
that's
just,
that's
like-
exactly what I was thinking. Is
Yeah.
just like that's there's a bit of panic whenever you enter a really good
We
studio
are
because you're
gonna-
paying by the hour.
You can just hear the clock ticking.
Yep. You're like, this has to be good, but I mean, you guys have a relaxed atmosphere to actually
that's
get
what,
it done
that's what's
in.
nice about it, because
For
we
sure.
were able to take, so like, no, I want to take a few minutes to get myself together, or sounds like I want to take a few minutes to test setups and stuff, which was good. We were able
we spent about an hour and a half, 2 hours maybe, like just moving mics.
just mic setups.
Yeah.
Which it benefited you as well, because it gives you the option to sort of learn. Okay, with limited setups, limited space, what can you do to get a better sound? Which obviously working with me as opposed to
there's
someone who
some
paying you.
weird stuff I'd
yeah.
never even thought of doing before.
Yeah, like the under micing and
Like,
all
just
that kind of stuff.
putting-
Yeah,
putting the mic on the side of the snare. I didn't have a top snare.
Yeah,
I put
right.
it literally on the side.
but it helped because we were doing
Okay.
the songs by heavy rim shots,
Yeah, there's
so it really helped with
quite
that.
bits of rim shot. It just things like that.
But like I say, it benefits both people, because you learn stuff from that, and I was able to sort of get a better understanding of Mike, like as well. So it gave me a bit of inside information, so that when we do, because we're actually planning to use probably a studio for the next single after this one. So it means that when we get ready to go in there, we can go in and together, me and him can just get things set up ready to go.
Yeah.
It saves us a lot of time in the studio. Plus, the fact I know him, I know what he's capable of, and he knows what I'm capable of. It's really easy to
Yeah,
work together.
yeah. Well, that's a hard thing for like a decent recording engineer. Is like no matter what you do, like if it's a new band coming to you, it's like you're going in cold. Like you don't even know what to expect. You can ask for demos and stuff, but you don't know what's going on. But you guys know
I think
how
a
you
lot
work.
of a lot of newer bands, they have a problem off, because this is a game myself years ago trying to find someone to record. You don't know if someone's actually going to do a really good job for you, because just because they have one or two really good, pieces to show, doesn't mean that everything they're going to do is going to be to that standard. But knowing someone you can trust, like you obviously know if you trust Adam to do something, it's going to be exactly what you want. That's the way we feel Simon, that he knows what we want, because obviously it's his music as well. He wants the same thing.
Yeah,
So
It does
we can
help.
put
it's
all, we can put
the
full
fact
trust in him.
you have
does
vested
help.
interest.
Yeah,
It does help
exactly.
to have
exactly,
personal investment
Yeah.
in the actual music itself.
Yeah,
Obviously, even if I was like with a couple of bands I've worked with that I haven't, or artists that I've worked with that I haven't met before, like you still have to try and actually care, because if you
Yeah.
don't, what's the point?
yeah,
Like
yeah. That's
And that doesn't happen everywhere either.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who may just do it for.
every day.
Luckily, I've never came into contact with anybody that. Well, I mean, one person a long time ago.
Whenever you were kids.
Yeah, whenever we were just teenagers, and me, Adam, and Phil had a band. We were called Faux Phoenix, and we recorded with this guy. It was behind the Europa somewhere in Belfast. I mean, it was such a shitty space. I can't even remember exactly.
That
It
even sounds
it
dodgy.
wasn't it wasn't at Westlink, but it was near there. It was near Westlink Enterprise. But anyway, this guy recorded us, and whenever we went in, bearing in mind that he knows like we're all like maybe 16 or something, like we're pretty young guys. It's not like we have loads of money or anything to do this. We only wanted to go in to do one song with him, and we got in there, and he kept talking about how, right, okay, so we'll set the drums up and we'll get like a few in here then, and it's like, well, no, we're only planning really to do just the one. And he's like, well, you may as well set up, and we'll do drum takes for about 4 or so, like that's the time we have. So from the start he was trying to like milk us for money, and then obviously we didn't do that, and we recorded the one song, and we done it all in one day, and he was meant to mix it and send it back to us afterwards. But whenever we finished for the night, he wanted the money like there, because obviously he didn't trust us. So I mean, he knew we were young, and he wanted X amount of pounds or whatever, and then we didn't have that much on us. It was more than what we thought it was going to be, because it was meant to be so much per hour, and it just went on and on. He was making it take so long that we didn't have it, and I was like, well, I've got more, but I'm gonna have to go and lift it. And he's like, right, well, I'll drive you guys around to the bank machine.
So fucking dodgy.
So he drove us to the bank machine at the Europa, and I had to lift money out of my bank account that I made from work to pay him the rest of it.
What? Like the Hawkinshire.
Are we talking like triple figures here?
Um,
Or was it
well, like as in
how
it
much
was
extra did you have to?
you know what? I can't really remember, but it was a lot. It was too much, but too much. Like we
16-year-old?
didn't know at the time, because we had like
So innocent.
to put yeah.
Record us.
If I can put it in context, right? So for a band, right, it sounds silly now, but we're so young and we weren't part of the music scene. We were just making music, right? So the first thing we thought to do is we record an album, obviously.
Yeah.
That's not what you do. You record a single or you record an EP, but you think you record an album. So that's what we did. So like our very first musical venture, me, Adam, and Phil, was to record like a 9 or 10 track album together, which was just madness. And I can't believe that we did it. Like,
And it's not bad.
It's not,
I have it in the
it's
house.
not bad.
It's actually not
It could
bad.
be better, but like it's crazy that we actually done it. We went to a lot of university students. That was Adam had the thought process to do that. Even back then, he was like, "We'll approach these students who need it for their portfolios, and we'll do it for like next to nothing. They charge by the track instead of by the hour." And there was this guy, and I feel so bad for him now in retrospect because he's such a nice guy. This guy Michael, if he ever watches this, like, sorry.
Did you guys fleece him?
Well, I mean, in retrospect, yes, definitely, 100% we did, but we didn't know we were doing it at the time. Like, we didn't know how much it cost, but he was charging like £20 a track, and he was the best. Like, I feel bad saying this because there's another really good engineer on it. We had 3 engineers for our first album. Anyways, yeah, he was like the best one. Like, the stuff he was putting out was actually really good, and yeah, his working space was amazing. He lived out in the middle of nowhere in Cumber, and he had this place that was his mom's house or something, and it was a huge house detached from everything else, and the whole place was just a studio. It was like something out of Funky Monks or Chili Peppers.
Wow.
He just had like a drum kit in the living room. There was like cables just going everywhere. It was awesome, and I was like, I wish I had taken that in more. I remember his dog was called Dog.
Fuck.
I thought that was amazing. It was just like he had this massive white dog, and he was just like, "Oh, that's Dog." And I was like, "Is that legit?" The name was like, "Yeah. Why call it anything else? I don't get it."
Double G?
Oh, I
D-O-double-G?
never asked. But the happy ending of that story, I'll wrap it up here for you, is that we went to one last guy who actually lived in Newton Ards and was recording out of his mom's garage, which is hilarious. He was a lot older though, and it was so funny. Like, he was older, but he had been in bands whenever he was younger, and he like showed us pictures of him just like playing in this band, jumping into crowds and stuff. He was awesome. He was so cool, just like shirtless, going around crowd surfing, playing guitar. I was like, that guy was a legend. But he recorded the last 3 songs for us, and then on one of them we were insistent on putting some reverse vocals in because we had this weird interlude to go into the last track, and we didn't know what to say, so we called out this guy that was on the thing because we were like, oh, we're putting it in reverse anyway. So we called him a lot of names and then put it in reverse on the record. So that's in there. And one of them was a butt pirate. Yeah. But that's my story. Anyways, what have I done?
He's getting interesting now.
I know. Oh, I gotta bring it back. There was something I wanted to ask you. I seen like a picture the other day of a set list you guys put up,
Oh, I should put my laptop.
and I just have some questions. Is all.
We welcome them.
All right. Let's see.
I welcome them.
Right. So there we are. So. Is that the first track at the top?
Yes.
Yeah, what is it?
What
What is
it?
that?
Should we?
This stands for whatever you want it to stand for.
Should we clarify it all? Just leave it as is.
HSDACMG.
Yes.
Stands for whatever you want it to stand
Haddock,
for.
salmon, dog.
Dog.
No, haddock, salmon, dog, and chicken make good.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
That's fine. If you don't want to tell me, that's okay. I'm fine with that. There was a band I played with in school that had a song called DND, and they never told anybody what it was for ages, and then I found out they wrote it because they were really angry at their it was the no, but what a good guess. Well, that's what everybody thought it was gonna be, like a D&D thing, all these jokes. It turned out they just practiced in one of their houses, and the guy that lived next door to them complained all the time, so it was just called Dick Next Door.
Nice.
And I was like,
That was
that's
good.
actually hilarious. Right, fine. You don't want to tell me, that's all right.
Ah, you
kind
gotta
of like,
tell me a word from that.
Should we tell him or just cut it out? Is that
It's like Consumed used to have that song called Twat Called Morris, and that was a fucking class tune. But you know the guy that was about must have felt so shit.
Oh dear. Right, okay.
Why don't you give us half of it?
Oh,
Is there someone's name in it?
So the A stands for and.
Thanks.
There you go.
Right, fine. Fine. If it's about somebody, that's all right.
Sorry, but
I did want to change it.
I refuse. I refuse it. I'm Firmly rooted that it has to stay.
And then a personal favorite was Super Secret song.
Are you aware of Super Secret song, or are you unaware?
No, I don't know what that is.
I mean, it's a secret to anyone who wasn't there.
Yeah.
so that's a secret, right?
Does it remain a secret, or?
Oh yeah, there's videos of it, so I'm sure it'll end up.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll let I'll pass it to the front man for this one.
I have a video of it. Like,
I have a good video of it.
Oh yeah.
There's videos of it? Where?
There's videos of it.
Where?
I recorded it on my.
Oh, it's not on. It's not on Facebook.
I
No.
had been with me, but I forgot.
Oh, I thought I could pull it up. That's cool.
Yeah, I'll send it to you. Or something.
Yeesh, I want to see.
Lost cause has changed. It's now lost cows.
Yeah, lost.
Yeah, I did see that.
We figured, with us leaving Europe now, we just wanted to
Yeah.
It's a
like,
lost causa.
yeah. Shouts out to our European homeboys. What word?
Wow,
We wanted to see
I love it. I love it.
Fuck, I want to know what them letters mean.
Now we'll just move on.
Yeah. Well, if you want to know what it is, you're just gonna have to come to one of the gigs.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
So yeah, my name is Aaron Reith, and I do the sings and the riffies.
What's your favorite meme?
My favorite, what? Genuinely, my favorite meme is probably Bad Luck Brian, because just there is some.
Oh, old school.
Takes it back.
No, that's not like old school. If you're old, okay. If you're old, it's just that's my shit right there.
There was only real life memes.
Yeah, you know what I mean. But Bad Luck Brian.
Back
had
in the
some-
day.
Are you too busy insulting me over there?
No. Getting our answers ready. Yeah.
Brevin.
I'll just sit here quietly
Yeah.
while you guys discuss it then. Anyway, I will pass over.
Pass down, pressure's on.
My name's Adam. I'm the low-end technician,
Yeah.
and I don't think I could choosing between my favorite memes would be like choosing between children. It's
That's fair. That's a good answer.
the firstborn.
Wrong board. Some kid died.
I don't know.
True and rightful there, right there.
What do you call the one from the Emperor's New Groove? The
Yeah.
Just Right.
Oh yeah, they did.
The just right.
It's
That's what it's
applicable for
known as
so many-
now.
So many situations.
I'm Chris. I allegedly play the drums. And
Nobody can prove it.
yeah, I mean you can disprove it.
No.
Favorite meme would be "Fornicate women acquire currency," because it's a classic.
How do you call that guy?
Oh,
DeCrue? Joseph DeCrue.
Yeah, that's the one.
Hi,
Hi,
my name's Simon, and I'm the lead guitarist.
I think.
Arguably two lead. Too many solos. Have guitar must solo. Yeah.
Trying to say about my guitar playing, motherfucker.
Yeah, and I also do like backing vocals and stuff. Yeah, add them
Like
sweet
that.
sweet harmonies in,
Like that.
and that's me.
Beautiful.
What's your favorite meme though?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, any memes?
Favorite meme. I like Foiled Bachelor Frog. That was one of my faves.
What about Pepe?
Pepe was all right. I
Oh,
didn't.
Jaden Smith, that was a good one.
Jaden Smith tweets were good, but no, it has to be Foiled Bachelor Frog for sure.
Fair. It seems like the only way to introduce you guys. You seem very meme-heavy band.
It was in the.
the way?
It was in the job advert.
It wasn't the
You know,
Yeah.
the job description.
Yeah.
I made sure I tried to promote that advertisement and said that there is a meme criteria.
That was one of the best shoutouts.
Literally about 60% of what we talk about. So.
Yeah.
There's one of the there was one shift me and Simon were doing together. 'Cause we both used to work in the same department at a and it was like a really quiet night.
Can we beep out? Can you go through every time?
That might be a bad idea actually. Yeah, 'cause we make it,
Every time we mention
yeah, we generally make it. They don't like you talking about them, so we generally might get in trouble for that.
Yeah, that's why I never say where I work.
But basically,
And this will be the one where I say they all work at,
yeah.
and I'll blank that.
Well, he doesn't. It's fine.
Yeah, it'll be.
But well, it was like we were doing a shift together, and I was just really quiet. So when he was doing something, I just printed off a bunch of Jaden Smith tweets and I cut them up. And as the night went on, if I felt like he did a good job, I would be like, Simon, you hand that custom very well. That deserves a Jaden Smith tweet, and I just give him a tweet. So by the end of the night, I had like 12 of them, and he just took them home, like
I
left.
took them home. I left them in my shirt pocket and then washed it. And then you asked me.
No, that was the Pepe's. You lost on my rare Pepe's.
Oh, yeah.
That was a different night. Same idea, but rare Pepe's. But you left when we don't have a life. But like you left on like your bedside table, and Katrina was just like, "What the fuck is this?" And you had to like try to explain why you had like 30 Jaden Smith tweets. And then there was the Nightman that was in your car.
Lived in my car.
It's just like a full piece of paper. It's just unfolded one day, so it's just like
A4 sheet of paper with just the Nightman from It's Always Sunny just on it. Like,
It's just Mac with cat eyes. Yeah.
But like, she just like opened it and just looked to Simon like, "Was this Chris?" I was like, "Yeah."
I'm probably asking the wrong crowd here, but have you guys heard Jaden Smith's album?
no.
It's probably
It's my favorite.
Put it on.
It's kind of as
I fucking like it, so I don't care what anybody
you know
says.
what parts of it aren't bad, but lyrically speaking, it's like following him on Twitter. It's like, what is he talking about half the
But how
time?
can Mo's be real?
I,
Eyes
like-
aren't real. Come on.
I think if you enjoy his tweets on a comedic level, I would definitely listen to the album that
the same
starts out with 4 tracks, which are BLU. Oh no, sorry, 5 tracks. It's blue, right? BLU and E. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
He's stepping on.
he's already getting out there, like straight off the bat. He's like doing something weird.
Can we rename one of our songs like just the number like 2, but have it like towards the end of the album, so it's actually track 7 or something? So it's
Yeah,
like,
just so.
And that's like a Jaden Smith
yeah.
type thing. Yeah, I like that.
You got to expect that the production value's got to be fucking epic, right?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds really good, and at times he's not really that bad. It's just he's pretty pretentious in parts. Like, I don't know what else to say, but it's, I mean, he is in life, right? But there's certain things where he's rapping, and it's like, you're never gonna get away with it because you're Will Smith's son.
Yeah, is it rapping or is it Will Smith rapping?
No, it's not.
Hey.
It's
Back off the big willy, all right?
If anyone knows Big Willie, it's me, right? So let's get that one.
Well,
Okay, so Chris loves Big Willie. We're all good with that.
okay. Keep that then. Is that what you said?
Chris love.
I fucking love Big Willie, right?
Oh,
Big Willie
Pause.
stars all on it.
Will Smith is awesome. So you guys have some shows.
Yes.
Yeah.
Shows of a musical variety at
Yeah.
establishments that sell alcohol.
Excellent. I've got them up on the screen.
Not a reason to come to
You guys actually, there's quite a lot just like popped up all of a sudden there. I
Yeah,
noticed.
it was literally quite weird.
the space of about a week.
Yeah, like we had 1 or 2 come up, and then you guys just hit the B button, invited us to come down
Yep.
to support you on your EP launch, Robert. So
Shout
like,
out.
if you make it to any show, that's the one to be coming down to.
Got it.
And then literally, I was at work that day, and my phone just started going crazy. And it was just 2 more gigs all of a sudden, like right out the bat. Literally,
Yeah.
supervisors walking past, going, "Put your phone away." I'm like, "Fuck off, I'm busy." Just like this is important to me.
And I was asleep the whole time, which you absolutely hated.
Yeah, Chris has developed this habit of just sleeping all day and doing whatever the fuck he does all night.
that's right. Crow's the same.
Yeah.
Crow's exactly the same. He sleeps all day pretty much when he has any chance to.
But Chris just stopped responding to messages at all. So
Yeah,
eventually,
Crow's the same.
so eventually I got to the point where I'm like, you know what, fuck Chris, we'll just agree to the gig anyway, and who can work it out? Like,
So like, best way to do it, just assume I'm fine with it, and then I'll make it work.
exactly.
go.
See, that's Chris
Yep,
is too
exactly
nice
how
to
I
say
think.
no anyway.
Exactly how I think. Yeah.
So we Sister Ghost asked us to support them that day, and then there was a confirmation of the Battle of the Bands as well.
I think we literally made I made like a really crappy poster of me and Simon back of a car. Like that was literally.
Oh, I seen that. Yeah.
Posted like the day or two before. So like if you go back at that photo, there's that photo of like 4, and then it's like, oh, this is much bigger now.
Yeah, we have way more.
Yeah,
It's cool because they're kind of all over the place, which is good.
Well, except for playing Pavilion back to back.
Yeah. I was worried about that at first whenever I seen
Extra
it.
date added due to demand.
Yeah. At first I panicked and I was like, that's not gonna be good. Kev ran into that problem before trying to play at the same venue back to back. But
on the plus side though, we can leave our stuff there.
yeah, well, it's a battle of the band, so it doesn't matter. It's promoters kind of get.
Well, look, this
off.
is the thing. Me and Simon spoke about it, and I was like, we can be straight with them and say we're playing the Pavilion the next night as well. I mean, at the end of the day, they picked the date.
Yeah,
so.
I don't think it matters if it's a battle of bands, but if you're playing for 2 separate promoters, then they would probably be mad because all you're doing, like, what they worry about is you splitting your audience in half, obviously. So.
Yeah, but I mean, Simon's dad will probably come to both of them, so it'll be fine.
And that's the fan base.
Yeah.
Hi, Simon.
Simon's dad and James Flamino will be probably at both of those. So
it's like that Flight of the Conchords joke where they have the one fan and they call her fan base.
I think it's good for us because we haven't gigged in ages. You know, we had low-end technician problems.
Yes, there was a lot of member changing.
I think it was.
Switch it up, you know?
Yeah, just every couple of months we just
keep
kick
shit
someone
fresh.
out.
You know what I mean? No, I think it was. No, that's
people
funny.
just keep leaving.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I think it was just because it started with me and Simon, and we had this like really, not even like a solid idea, but there was this concept of what we wanted to do, and I think we both had like a direction that we wanted to go in. So I think eventually we've now found like 2 other people that kind of get and enjoy what we're doing. So, you know.
So flattering.
But yeah, so I think it's kind of we've now hit that point. So to straight away out the gate have 6 gigs lined up. 5 now. We played 1, but yeah, just
it was very nice.
Yeah.
Me and sort of Adam both joined in sort of, I guess, funny. Again, I thought it was like interesting ways. I guess I'll grab it over there. I was actually because I'd mentioned to Aaron about a month or so before Johnny left. That I was looking to maybe get back in and doing some music stuff, like I wouldn't mind maybe getting back into drumming.
Yeah.
And he put me in contact with an associate of his. And we sort of talked back and forth for a while. We were maybe going to get something going. But he asked me how I'd listen to an album, and I said no, and he just stopped talking to me. So I thought that was pretty funny.
Damn. That was a really specific taste.
Yeah. It was just like, have you listened to this album? I was like, no. And then he never played games. Like, all right, no worries.
This
like,
ain't gonna work out.
Yeah, I was like, okay, whatever. But I was like waiting for the bus to like go out to work one day, and then Simon asked me like, "Yo man, do you want to play some drums for a band?" I was like, "Oh, cool." Simon knows a guy. I was like, "Yeah, put me in contact." And it was in classic RIR fashion, Johnny's left the band, so can you meet up with these guys? I was like, "Oh, okay." So I had to like do this mad dash to like get breakables and all this other like stuff, and basically try and get my hands on everything in like 3 or 4 days.
Like a Franken kid.
But it was actually it was an absolute nightmare because he was going on holiday to America like the day after he asked me to join.
Yeah.
And then they were him at the time we had Adam from B Button
Adam. Yeah.
and Aaron, and they were both busy with stuff, so we couldn't meet up, the 3 of us. So I had 1 3-hour practice session.
Yeah, the gig was the night after. Pretty much the day after I got back from America.
So he got back on a Thursday. He got back on a Wednesday morning. We had a practice on Thursday night, which was my only practice, which was
like
about 2-3 hours long.
2 hours.
And then we went and played a battle of the bands on Friday night. Came second by 1 vote. So
Yeah.
you know.
Well, I remember because like I don't even know how many people know this, but like so our drummer Adam Weston, he played bass for RIR for a while.
We call him Old Adam.
Old Adam, yeah, makes sense. But yeah, no, he said on the night because he was like, "Oh, they got this new drummer," and like he literally had no time to learn the songs, but he nailed it.
I was literally like, I got to the venue before anyone else did, so I was like standing like over in the corner, like outside in the alley with like my phone like to my ear, going through Dropbox, just being like, "Yep, that song. Yep, that's the song." And then I think Ari's like, "What do you do?" It's like, "I'm fucking learning the song."
Learning the song, phone it. That's amazing.
That was a nightmare. Like
That was pretty much when Chris peaked.
Yeah, that was my peak. It's all just been down from there, you know.
We're
Yeah.
hoping there's another peak, like, you know, I feel like one's overdue.
I got one. That's all
That's
I've got
it.
in me. And then Adam can regale me with how he joined, I guess. This is new Adam.
Yeah, this
I'm
is
new
the
Adam. New
newest,
Adam.
the newest member.
My story isn't quite as interesting. I don't have Facebook, which
Oh.
is like a novel. It's like
That's-
a 21st century freak show.
And that's
I'm a basic woman.
probably a good thing at this point
That's
in
a
time.
good thing.
So I depend on my girlfriend Catherine, and that's a shout out to Catherine, of course.
Will you?
And
This is a solid meme.
she showed me a Facebook post that I know it was joked about earlier, but it's definitely not a joke. It was need a bassist, must be schooled in memes.
Yeah. And you're like, this,
So I sent a questionable meme to you, hoping to show my worth. And then
This is meme resume.
yeah.
I showed up. I didn't think I was going to get it. I'm stoked to be playing with these lads. Hopefully, there's no more low-end technician problems.
Yeah.
Batting up.
Oh, what a beautiful moment. Oh, I'm glad we got that there.
Never been told that I've nailed something before.
No,
No, I was a trainee carpenter and everything.
Oh,
Nice.
I don't even know if that's true.
But yeah, it's really good to have Adam on the team now, because he literally just slotted right in. Like, there was yeah, it was just, you know,
Like even
literally the second practice, and
Even
by the
the
end of
first-
it,
even the first
first
practice,
practice we were all just raking about and just having
yeah.
a great time.
That's
And
awesome.
he's good at bass.
And that helps.
Yeah.
That also helps. Is whenever he can play bass.
it's nice when 3/4 of the band know how to play the instrument.
Yeah.
You need to stop that. I've been coaching
putting your
Chris on like positivity.
Self-confidence.
We've been doing yoga
I
and
self-deprecate, it means it's okay. As
Wow.
when I make fun of me, I can't get my feelings hurt.
That's a legit strategy. That's legit.
That
Like, if
is
someone
legit.
says you're bad, it's like, oh, yeah.
Amazing. Yeah.
We talk about lack of musical talent. So me and Simon had a discussion the other day, and he's like, "No, you got to start learning some more interesting scales." And I'm like, "Yeah, okay, fair enough." So while I'm away at my visit with my family, I text him like, "Right, so which scales do you think I should be learning?" He goes, "Well, which ones do you know?" And I'm like, "Well, 0." So
Oh, dang.
I can just imagine him paining, being triggered in his living room.
He just
not at all. I was like,
He went to his-
excellent. Start here.
he went
Yeah,
to his reading
well,
room and just started.
There's plenty to start learning, is the way to look at it.
We'll
Yeah.
start with the standard scales, majors and minors.
Do you think it helps?
Yeah,
Would it-
apparently so.
Do you think it would help, like, being more, like, classically trained, shall we say? Just theory-wise?
I definitely think it has its advantages. I think it's interesting seeing the dynamic between me and Simon, where he is very musically trained and me not so much.
I think that benefits the music no more because it's bringing two completely different sides of the coin together. So it creates this really interesting like dynamic between two of us.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of sort of where I can bring something in and Simon will go, "Why don't you at this point try adding this in instead, just to see where that sort of takes it?" But I suppose he sees things from a different way that I would.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
whereas-
I would say we have the same dynamic with Adam, I guess, because
Yeah.
Adam will know straight away, but, like...
Now imagine the two of them in a band together. That was an interesting couple of weeks.
Yeah. Oh, damn.
Oh, just showing a major ninth there. So me and Chris are like, so we start again, yeah?
Oh,
Am I
man.
counting 3 or 4? I'm not sure at this
I've
point.
never been more terrified in a room in my life than when I was like my turn to do something or add something. Those two looking at me was like, well, they're both really good and he is mainly a drummer, so I'm just fucked.
No, it's cool. I mean, I'm like I haven't learned like loads of theory, but I find it fascinating. So like I'm always wanting to learn it. So like Adam teaches me a bunch of stuff. So usually we have a good understanding of what he wants to, you know, if he wants to bring something to the table, there's something I don't understand, then I'm gonna ask him. Like if it's something through theory that I just don't get, but you know, he's went and studied it. I haven't. Is the way I always look at it. So he can teach me these things, but I don't know. It helps me like a huge amount. Like the stuff that we've written since I've started learning more. I mean, we were talking years ago, like, but it's made me a better
Yeah.
songwriter, I think.
I get you, but or not, but.
But no,
I get you, but
I
no,
just
you're
get you.
absolutely right.
I just get you.
It does help. My argument is that like people who learn by ear, that's a great thing to do. Like, you know, you just play what sounds good. It's amazing.
That's
but
how I started.
Once you start learning about all the scales and keys and things like that, you'll realize that what you've been playing does actually fit within these constraints.
Yeah.
Generally, you know, 9 out of 10 times.
Kind of, even if you talk on like such a simplistic level, there's less scale for like mess ups live. If you know your scales and you know the theory of it, then
Yeah.
you're not really gonna screw up because you
Exactly.
know
'Cause
you know what note goes with what note. Like
Yeah.
you're not gonna
You
play
know what
something
note goes
incorrectly.
with what chord, but yeah, you'll start to realize that these things that you've been playing are actually, you know,
They already are
scales,
something.
like,
yeah.
especially most of our IR stuff's just minor scales and minor pentatonics.
Yeah.
And then I just
Hey!
put a little color note in every so often.
Sorry, I've gone way off. Gone way off.
Doesn't need to be.
I just played a song and that's
I've started a fucking
doesn't-
riot.
Basically, the way I look at it is, I'm allowed to skip the string here. I'm not allowed to. Skip
Oh, okay. See, that makes sense. I like that.
But it doesn't have to be like amazingly complex to be good.
He's trying to fix a guy.
No. For me, it's. I think now spending more time, I am interested in learning more.
Yeah.
Like figuring out more. It's sort of trying to go. I need more tools to be able to make better things. You know.
Yeah.
You're not going to
Sure.
use everything at the same time, but by knowing them, you can then sort of strip away and restrict yourself and.
Yeah. It's like
What is that whole? No, not like that. But I mean, it's the whole. No, what's that?
right. Well, I kind of know what you're talking about, right? So my take on it, right, is I think that's super useful to learn it. There's certain musicians where they have been taught from day one musical theory, right? Oh shit, a beer just spilled.
Body foul.
Oh damn. It's
She
okay.
seems- she
You
seems to
can
have hit
you can
the
clean that
only
up.
hole in the wipe down couch. Anyway,
Let's go. I will start again once the kitchen roll has entered the room.
he's right.
Cause yeah, this is gonna be weird when I add it. He's just not in the chair anymore. I'm just gonna cut that out and then he'll just disappear.
Just don't use that shot for this section.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to go, whenever you were talking about the restrictive thing, I thought you were going to go with the line, if you open your mind too much, your brain might fall out.
No, I was going on the whole like hardship breeds creativity, right? Which generally is
That's true, yeah,
You know,
yeah.
if you restrict, you look at all these guys doing amazing
Yes.
things with like one string and all of this shit, and but yes, but like literally, if you've got more tools at your disposal, you can choose which ones to restrict yourself to. So you're not, you get what I mean? You've actually got broader options, and you go, right, I'm only going to write something in a fucking Dorian scale or whatever the fuck they're called.
Yeah.
Did I get that right?
Yes. Aaron learned something.
Fuck yeah, a mode. Sorry, Dorian modes.
A mode.
What is a Dorian mode? what is it?
It's just a different sounding scale. We'll stick with that.
Okay,
It's a different
cool.
sounding scale. That's simple answer.
It does have some different notes in it.
Just
don't
does
it?
for new things.
Yeah.
Nice. No
Different
worries.
notes in it, mate. You know what I mean? Not
Dead
the same
on.
ones as the other ones.
I get you, mate.
Different ones.
Dead on.
Did I just find out that there's more than two? I'm going to have to go on to another.
Google.
Let's talk.
There's more than two scales.
We walked into
What?
Far Joe's the other day, and all of a sudden the bassists from both bands disappeared. And we were like, do you think they've just gone outside and gone, which string do you like to play?
I find that highly offensive.
I like the one that goes boom.
I'm disgusted. This is disgusting.
Because it's nice to find musical camaraderie.
So you both play the same string.
Yep.
What string do you play, Stuart?
It's a hard choice, dude. I don't know.
He likes to do the Seinfeld things. That's your favorite.
I try and play as many as possible. Is the correct answer?
Even not his own strings. Sometimes.
Sometimes I play other people's strings.
That's skillful.
Shouldn't
Sometimes I
touch other
play-
people's strings without permission, eh?
Sometimes I play more than one string at
Hashtag
the
me
same
too.
time.
That's my topical right now.
It's fucking wild. It's crazy.
Sometimes with your business.
Play what?
I thought you were going to say you've played the drums with strings. I was like, what?
I don't know.
Yeah, they can book your strings.
Yeah.
Whipping the tongs.
Yeah, I mean, my take on like the whole musical theory thing is one thing I know I say dislike to say as a personal taste, but there's some people that I just feel have maybe learnt theory from day one and they are restricted in a way. I know it doesn't sound right, but the way I want to learn it is for more knowledge, not to like change my songwriting. But I feel like if you're brought up from like the very first day you learnt music, you have to do things in a certain way. It feels forced to like play music in a certain way. Does that make sense? I feel I'm bad at explaining it, but I can almost hear it in a musician whenever they play if they've been like, I don't know, they're very trained.
You're almost like they lose that feeling to it, I think is maybe what you were saying.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with them. They're obviously very talented, but then it's like just the...
There's nothing wrong with them. He's just a musician. He's all right. Don't worry.
But there's just something very, I don't know, like there's no soul in it or something,
I would
right?
argue that's a bad teacher.
Could be. I mean, I just...
The rules are there to be broken. If the rules
That's
are there to
what
be
I
broken,
want,
if
yeah.
you know what songs are in, or what chords are in a key, for instance,
Yeah.
you can say, usually we could play that one here, like, I don't know, the fifth to the first. But then go, no, I don't want to do that. I want to put this one in instead.
Mhm.
And then you've knowingly broken the rules, but you know why you're doing it.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
That's essentially why I was desperate to sort of learn more about it, was because how can we do something messed up? That's usually what we do with B-button songs, is like we kind of write a song and then we're like, right, how are we gonna, fuck this up a little bit?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a really good song. How do we just fuck it? Like, what do we
That's pretty much the way we write music, but it's a certain style, right?
Yeah. How do we make it more demo?
Yeah, more demo,
Yeah.
But is there something about someone that has no idea? Sorry.
No,
Is
you're
there
right.
something about somebody that has no idea, how to technically do everything
Yeah.
and still make something absolutely genius? Is there not like, it's like, fuck
No,
me,
but
how did he do that?
that's what is kind of funny, because sometimes it happens, and I don't know. This is just one perspective of it. It's not necessarily true, but sometimes not having the knowledge of it as well means that you're just trying stuff.
Like a
that's sort of the
raw
point I'm
thing.
making. It depends who you are as a person.
But I think that's
you
what
just
Simon's
go and
saying,
do
that you're
things.
likely fitting
Yeah.
into those things
Yeah,
anyway.
exactly, yeah.
Unknowingly.
Yeah.
It sounds good, and then you realize once you learn maybe a scale and how to build keys
yeah.
diatonically, then you go, oh, I've actually been playing.
Yeah, I've been doing this.
This has been a major scale the entire time. Or
Yeah,
something like that.
that's kind of what I like about it, but that's why I don't only have one viewpoint on it, because of the way that
Well,
I
it's 'cause
learned
it's your
guitar.
viewpoint, yeah.
I,
I mean,
learned guitar myself and then didn't know a whole lot. Like I had one book that I learned from, and then just stopped at a certain point, and then just played my own thing, and then later on it's like, oh, I'm doing this.
See, I was all about Ultimate Guitar when I was a kid.
Yeah, me
like,
too.
That was
Tabs.
just tabs for anything. Yeah, before it was shit.
Ads.
Remember that?
Ads.
Ad blocker, lads. I'm just saying that's what it's all about.
Sponsors.
No.
No,
Fuck the system,
I
man.
want ad blocker. to
Ad blocker
sponsor
all
me.
the way. And not even ad blocker premium with fucking preferential ads. What's that bullshit?
I
Anyway.
want to see these ads.
Yeah.
I want some targeted
I installed
advertising.
ad blocker and all of a sudden all the singles in my area have gone.
That's pretty
Keep the
good.
titty ads, that's fine. But like, I remember learning guitar from that, and like I would learn somebody's song, and it would have a chord in it that I didn't know, and then I would force myself to go and write a chord progression with that new chord in, and like I found that sort of embedded it in my head. But I suppose it's also what Simon's saying, where I was building knowledge of scales and modes, even though I didn't know that I was doing it.
Yeah, that's exactly what I did. It was the same thing, and it's like whenever I'd done the same thing, like from tabs, and I'm just like, I like this, like, and then I just ended up putting it in something. I was like, it's just a chord. It was just, I guess, a more fun way to learn it is the way I seen it, because I couldn't learn from a book whenever I was that young.
Would you like learn from books still, or from tabs or whatever?
Well, if I'm honest, I've never bought a book since, but it's because we have YouTube.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I don't really need anything like that anymore.
What I would recommend to any musician is ditch tabs. Don't use tabs. Seriously, I came home from uni and I just started taking my guitar more seriously.
Yeah.
and I decided I'm not going to play. I'm not going to read.
University, that was a good
Yeah,
time to
yeah,
take
no,
it.
it is. It's a bit ironic. I've actually improved so much more at music since I left university.
Yeah.
But I said I'm not going to read any more tabs. I'm going to purely figure stuff out by ear.
So I thought you were gonna say read music, like, but because I can't do that for
I
shit.
can't read music either. I
No.
can if it give me time. But the point is, like,
Yeah, I need to count them out.
F A C E. There we go.
I know what it means, but I'm not gonna be able to like read it like.
But yeah, if you're wanting
Words.
to, if
Yeah.
you want to get better at music and especially on your instrument, ditch tabs, and it's going to be hours and hours of skipping back. I just put on Spotify and found songs that I wanted to learn, like songs that I'd known for years. But in my head, I told myself I'm not good enough to play this yet.
Yeah.
But I'm talking like literally half a second, play back the same half a second, listen to the notes, and figure them out on your instrument while you're holding it. Because they,
No,
that just it teaches you to connect.
I get
what
that
you're
because-
hearing and what you're playing, and that is essentially like, to me, that's true musicianship, is being able to play what you hear.
See that?
You know?
I mean, that's the way
That's like deep.
I learn most things. Though is like I learn them by ear, but my issue is always that I don't learn them 100% correctly.
Yeah.
And I have Adam for that. I'll bring him a song, and then it's like, oh, it's actually. But that's kind of why I need a
touching on what
tab.
Simon was saying. Now, you know, when I first started off in the whole music sort of thing, I started music
Or
the
whatever
whole
it
music,
is.
this whole
Oh,
music,
music
whatever you
thing.
want to call it, whatever that was going to be. I started off playing bass. And I would learn, obviously when you start off, you learn songs because like, oh, let's go play Green Day or Blink-182.
Yeah.
That's what everyone did.
Yeah.
But,
chords.
Yeah,
Power
but,
chords.
What everyone did.
Yeah.
Probably
But,
I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there was a guy who's like the year or so above me in school. He was like he's still doing really well on guitar this day. But he had Guitar Pro. He was like, you want Guitar Pro? I was like, yeah. So every single song ever I learned from Guitar Pro.
It's got guitar and pro.
Yeah. So when
Professional
it came to
guitar.
actually trying to like, oh, we're going with our own songs now, it was really awkward for me to try and sort of take stuff that other people were doing and then just play along with them because there was
I
nothing
find that
visually
interesting though.
to sort of
That's kind of fascinating. It's just,
Yeah, so
but
you've made a visual
Yeah,
connection
yeah.
in your head, and that's the problem with tabs.
Yeah,
as well.
exactly, 'cause-
They make a visual connection between what you're playing and what you're looking at.
Yeah, it was a
Whereas-
really, really hard thing to get
Yeah.
out of doing because I'd learned, for years and years and years when I first started was everything was just Guitar Pro. So if it wasn't a Guitar Pro tab, I just didn't learn it. I didn't care.
Yeah.
So I'd sit there and follow along for like, yep, and then you'd learn it fine. But then if someone's like, oh, I wrote this song, play this, and you're watching them like, can you do that up in Guitar Pro? Yeah. Like I generally, I just couldn't do it. It's like I'm just really bad at this because of that, and it's something that still affects me through this day. If I try to learn something now. Like, I picked up the bass the other day. I was like, I'm going to have a go try and learn one of these new songs. Like, oh yeah, I don't have Guitar Pro anymore. Shit. And I couldn't do it. I generally couldn't do it.
Yeah,
I generally just, yeah.
block yourself.
Yeah. So, what you're saying about, like, tabs are fine when you're first starting off, but as you should very quickly try to teach yourself other methods because it completely ruined me. So,
tabs are good for actually getting familiar with the instrument, like getting familiar with how to play it.
Yeah, sure.
And like starting your journey really, because you can't just pick up a guitar
and just know it. Yeah, I know.
It doesn't work. It doesn't happen.
Like, I mean, obviously starting off, definitely,
for sure, definitely
find a couple of songs that you like. Like said, like we all start off like things like Green Day, Blink-182.
Yeah, they're all
because that was songs you liked. Obviously, it's like, oh, that's cool. Learn, had the rock
Oh,
show and stuff.
And
it's
there's
like,
there's like 4 chords in it, and they're all power chords.
Yeah. So it's easy.
Oh, this song has 2 strings. Like, I think
you feel like you're doing it though. You're just like playing.
Out of curiosity, how many people, like, one of the first ever gigs they played? How many of you played like Nirvana?
Like,
Smells Like Teen Spirit?
Luckily, I did not.
No.
Played Green Day.
Yeah.
First song I ever played on my own live was Hotel California.
Oh, fucking
brag about it. That's a very chordy song.
Like, no, it was like a purely chorded thing, and I was.
It's still that's actually chords instead of.
I was
That's
maybe
instead of
16
bar
years
chords,
old,
that's an
and
actual
it took
chord.
me about 2 bars to get in key. But like once I was there, I just fucking closed my eyes and went for it. Yeah. But I've got a counter to your argument there, because to this day, I can take a tab or a chord layout without practicing a song and just play the song back to back, near perfect. Like like I literally play covers gigs where I've had about 2 minutes of practice to make sure I've tuned a guitar, And as long as I've got a rough idea of a melody in my head, I can use a chord tab and just fucking play the song. No problems. But what I mean is, like, that in itself is still a valuable skill to have. Like, I think you need...
Oh, you mean you should be able to
Like
do
a
it,
sheet,
but
like-
just don't
Like,
waste
I
your
think-
entire-
Have the
Yeah.
chords, you got the lyrics and the chords.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course.
But, like,
because-
tab, I still think is, like, it sort of gives you that initial confidence, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you should definitely still use it as a
Like, when you're playing, like...
It does, but whenever you don't use tabs, and you just go straight in blind, just pick a song that you like.
Oh, now, yeah.
Oh hell yeah.
But, I mean, I've been playing for 17 years, though you wouldn't be able to tell.
You look good, man. You look good.
I know, it's fucking rough.
No negativity.
I know.
Save space, save space.
But, you know, I mean, I can count the number of bands. I couldn't count even that played "Damn It" as a cover song.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
First,
Yeah.
first two songs
We
ever was,
played it.
Smells Like Teen Spirit and Damn It. That was it.
Damn it,
First two.
Blink 182.
Oh, I look very 99.
Well,
Ayo.
keep that in.
Yeah, we played that. Like Adam played that with us. Our first gig of covers was actually like we actually played some decent covers. I'm trying to remember what they were, but we played like Chili's and Smashing Pumpkins. It was all influences that we had, so it was like.
See, I'm trying to
Phil
remember now
loved
back in the
Smashing
day. I know
Pumpkins.
we did. There was a Incubus song in there.
Oh damn, that's good.
Yeah, there was Incubus. Fucking, I think we played a Deftones song and
Damn.
did Hotel California. And
I
the worst
love
thing was, like, I was
Deftones.
like 16, maybe, not even. And the only venue that would have us was the G2 bar, which was a gay bar on the outskirts of Leicester.
Oh, sounds about
And it was
right.
literally, yeah, no. But funny enough, still to this day, one of the best crowds I've ever played for. It was
There you
fucking
go.
such a class night.
You know, I guess I count myself lucky of it though. Just the way I learned guitar is I 100% wrote more of my original songs. Like, I don't know why I started doing that. Like, I never even thought about it, but I was writing more songs than I was learning anything. Like, I wasn't learning covers all that much.
I quickly got to that point, I think, as well, where I'd learned, and still to this day, I rarely play covers. In
Yeah, I
Thieves,
don't
I point
really.
blank refuse to ever play a cover. Like,
But that's what we're kind of like we don't really play covers, and
I didn't feel the need for it. It was interesting
Yeah.
now doing this, I think, because we took something, it was entertaining, and we had fun and enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And it was like,
It wasn't just like this.
yeah, it wasn't there for the sake of having a cover in.
that
you
was
know?
that's the thing. If it's to fill a set, that's what I always feel is the pointlessness of it is like you only maybe get 30 minutes to show off what you can do. So like
Covers
why
can
waste
also
it on
covers
that?
can also help hype up a crowd and
Look, there's
There's
definitely
always a place for a
there's-
cover.
There's definitely a place
They
for it. Like,
do,
I'm
yeah.
not putting down anybody that plays. I'll put down people that play nothing but covers.
Yeah,
let's
well,
say.
yeah,
Like, if you've got a half an hour
that's
set and you've got
yeah.
one original
Yeah,
song,
that's-
then you ain't
that's-
ready to be playing.
If that's what
fucking
they want to do
Yeah.
to make
Or
money
entering
as
Battle of
a
the Bands.
job, then fair
Hey.
enough. Oh dang,
You get stuff.
one cover per band. You get that rule?
I'm gonna have to see ours.
Save it till last.
In case, hopefully we get through the second heat and we can use our cover then.
And don't pick the obvious covers.
Yeah. No, one thing about
Wonderwall, sure.
one thing
Yeah.
about covers is there's definitely a time and place for it. Like with our set list that we have, we timed it out quite a few times with and without band, as we put it.
Yeah.
And it's always clocking in about 28, 30 minutes on.
Yeah.
We're at sort of that kind of time span. So that's obviously enough to fill a set with. You don't need anything more than that.
Half decent
But
set.
having a cover where where it's like, okay, do you know what? It's a good crowd, or we're going on last. That's try to leave it with something memorable, or just something that's going to be like, oh, that's the guy,
Yeah.
because especially if we haven't had a gig for a few months, obviously, because we had Adam obviously stepped down. We had to find a replacement Adam.
Another a different half.
So by doing that there, it was nice for us to go in, and a lot of people who heard us who wouldn't have came there obviously for us. They just happened to be at the thing. There was people at the venue, people who just walked down the street where you saw them all coming up, phones out, recording what we were doing, recording the cover.
Yeah, people who were just sitting at the back of the bar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, oh.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it's having that when you're trying to sort of maybe make a name for yourself, for sort of that people know you're back out doing what you're doing again. It's good to have something that people can latch onto, because not everyone's going to know your set. Like, you'll have the few diehard people like Flamingo and your dad and stuff,
my
obviously,
dad.
who know the songs like Joey and stuff, who's Lost Cause, word
Big
for
up to
word
my
and
dad.
stuff like that there. So you have those people, but then you'd have like Catherine's first time at the gig. She didn't know any of the songs, but the covers, she was like, that's it was something that everyone can enjoy. So
seeing people's face light up.
yeah,
like,
yeah.
But
Yeah.
the thing is, we've like in rehearsals and stuff, a lot of the time we jam out covers.
Yeah.
Just it's my own fault because somebody mentions a song and I'm like,
Oh, and that's
I
it.
have to,
The whole
I have to
practice
pick
is
up my
gone.
guitar
The
and
whole
figure out
practice.
how to play it.
But,
So we jam out a couple of songs, but that like some of them just stick.
yeah,
You know, some of them are like,
the
oh
one we're
yeah,
running with is
oh yeah, that was fun. But then some of them you're like, oh shit, yes.
yeah.
That's what's funny because we have like I feel like maybe if that happened, then there would end up being a cover and like a B button set, but we're never on the same page. There's always like two of us that know what the song is, and it's like there's two of us playing it, and then the two
That's the
others are
same.
just like,
I feel like
I don't even know this
I
song.
was kind of against. I think the cover we picked initially, but he came around.
I think it was like it's a throwback to that whole thing of not wanting to do covers.
Yeah, in general.
And I think if you are like a songwriter predominantly, it's quite hard to sort of step back and go, I'm going to take away one of my songs to make space for somebody
Yeah,
else's.
that's
And it's pretentious as fuck, like it really is, but yeah, I suppose it's a hard pill to sort of swallow. And plus, like, that song was in a really weird fucking key.
Which is the real problem.
But, and that's it. Now,
You
it's...
play it in the original key, don't you?
We do now, yeah. We do, fun enough, drop tuned and everything, but it's still in the original key. But I suppose it's getting away from that fact of it not having to be a perfect sort of note for note
Yeah,
cover.
you can put your own
and
spin
rather
on
it be
it.
a representation of how Romeo Indigo Romeo would play that song.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
And I can get behind that idea. And so I'm getting there.
I think the main thing because I've always been exactly the same, and we don't really put them in because it's like I said, it's just you maybe get 30 minutes to show what your band is. So like, do you waste that time and
Take
be
a
the
sixth
people
of that and give it to somebody else's?
I don't think we'd ever
it doesn't
skip
feel
one of our own songs for a cover. I don't think that would ever be something we'd willingly do. It's something that's there for we have time to fill. We'll put it in if we have it. I would never say, do you know what, dump the message, we'll put this song in, or dump any other song.
Yeah. No, I get that, but it's as long as you're having fun with it. Like I would not treat it seriously at all. Like that's the way I always view it. Is like I wouldn't waste a lot of time learning somebody else's song. Like that's
exactly
the thing
it.
that bothers me is like we're all gonna have to go away from this and practice it like over and over again when we could be writing something.
But I think that's where our version of like sort of just this song of just taking something and we've taken the recognizable elements.
Yeah.
But aside from that, it's our
It's main essence, but it's completely a Romeo song.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like.
Sorry
It
about
doesn't
this.
feel like we've just learnt the song, and that's what I feel like covers, like bands who do mostly originals, if they do a cover, it shouldn't feel like they're doing a cover. It should feel like they're still playing a song.
You don't want to go see a band play and have them play a perfect. Like you don't want to go see a band and be like, oh, they're going to play a Blink-182 song, and next they hear a perfect Blink-182 song.
Yeah.
If you go see like when I went to see one of the first bands I saw was Trivium, and they, as a joke, as they put it, they started playing Damn It.
Yeah.
But like, it wasn't exactly the same thing. It had it was a bit faster, and it was a bit more heavier. Trivium. But it was like. You weren't seeing Trivium just play Damn It. You were seeing their take on Damn It, which is interesting because one of the first gigs that we did a gig, and there was we were standing with the promoter, and one of the bands that was playing, half their set, if not more, was covers, and the promoter was just why did I let these people come and do this show?
Yeah.
If I wanted a cover band, I'd get a cover band. So
yeah,
you have to be very careful about how you structure a set list, because if you're doing a 5-song set and 3 songs of covers, then the promoter's never ever gonna come pick you up again, because why would they want someone who's just gonna
because like as much musicality as taking a cover and making it your own takes, like writing your own stuff is still like tantamount to what a band really should be, and especially with what we're doing. Like obviously there's nothing wrong with function bands have their place, functions, but
that's the point, is like there's no point in saying your original band and then just play covers like all the time. Like that's what I don't understand, is like there is such a thing as a cover band, and you can make some decent money off it, and if that's what you want to do, then that's a legitimate job.
Although, is there not that is the Disco Beard you call them? Is it the band that anybody heard of them?
No, I don't know. Are they a function band?
They do covers, but like in all sort of weird, funky styles.
Okay.
Oh, there's
Um,
bands like that. I kind of like
yeah,
that. Have you heard
But
about?
it's actually really
like
musical.
Hasty
Like it's not
Dixie?
just they're not just a cover band. They
do something. It's
they
like
have their own style and they do covers of other songs in that style.
What do you call them?
Interesting though.
What is it? It's Nirvana Elvis crossover.
Elvis is the lead singer, yeah.
Elvana.
Elvana. Yeah, that's kind of dope. I kind of like that.
See, I think
I,
if you
you
use a
don't think it
cover-
would work, and it does.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Like if you used a cover to like Bond as a band, that would make sense.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, that's what we did.
But that's it. Because it's a song that everybody knows, everybody gets a vibe of, you know, and especially these days, we're older now and we're not all at school together, so it's not like you're all hanging out all the time and you've got that sort of. I know. I wish I could be with you guys all the time as well.
There's so many times where he'll be working and then he does like, I just come and visit.
It just pitches up. It's like, hey, what's happening?
Sometimes I leave you little notes though. So I
He does. He leaves little random notes around my department, and I'm like, Chris has been here.
You just know.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, fuck it. Do covers, don't do covers, do what you want. Like,
That's probably a good attitude.
Who am I to
It's
tell ya?
okay to have takes on it, but at the end of the day, it's
Why
whatever.
worry about someone else whenever you should be really
That's
putting
it.
all that time in yours?
That's it.
Could it be like a confidence thing as well? Like, let's do covers just to build ourselves up and then go.
Because you know the audience will respond.
Yeah, because
to
you know
it.
the audience are going to go, oh,
Yeah,
I know
it's
that one."
like somebody else has tested these waters.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
this song works. Whereas whenever you're playing an original that you've just written,
Yeah, you're shitting
like,
a brick.
There's something like, what if this is really shit? And everybody in this room collectively thinks this is terrible.
Yeah, there's that whole atmosphere. of, you
They
know-
all just
I mean,
walk
you've
out.
been there. I've been there in the audience thinking,
Yeah, I mean, there's people who
But-
you've heard them say, how do you have the balls to play your own stuff? Is something that people have said.
yeah, but yeah, it's you just gotta have confidence and stand.
Is
behind
that
it, you know?
this is just a legitimate question from me, but is that something you guys ever worry about? I don't know if I'm weird, but I've always worried about not playing a song right, but I've never worried about audience reaction to anything I've written. Not that I'm confident about it, but for some reason I'd probably be more worried to play a cover in case I play it badly or it comes off as just stupid. Like if I play Where's My Mind.
If you're playing your own songs or not.
If you play it bad enough, they're like,
Yeah, if the song's really bad, I'd be like, okay, that was a cover by
that was a cover of Taylor Swift.
Look it up. You don't know.
It's literally for me. I'm just sitting there thinking about it, trying to work it out, and I think you put so much effort into writing a song that by the time you get to playing it live, you really don't actually give a shit.
Don't think about it anymore.
Like
do you?
it's
No.
just you sort of sitting there going, "I made this."
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I made this.
It's I don't have any feeling. I'm not confident in it, but I'm not worried about it either. It's just something
It's
that
a weird middle ground.
if
Sort
you
of thing.
practice enough, then it's just like this is something that I do every week.
I mean,
here you go.
My biggest downfall is I pitch up to practice and I've written a riff that I can't actually play.
Damn.
That's
That's an
so,
issue.
I have to teach it to Simon, who can then teach it to me.
Yeah. But no, something about that. My whole thing with a lot of stuff is it's fine. Don't worry about it. That's like my go-to. Like if anything goes on, I'm like, oh, it's fine. Don't worry.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. Just like
Yeah. Simon's
like,
like,
no,
no, do it right.
Fix it.
I'm like, nah, it's
it
fine.
better.
It's fine.
I think the last B button practice, I did exactly what you said. I think I did a song. I can't remember. I need to play it again. We recorded it, but we did a song and like I wrote a riff and what was it in 6/8 or something, and then Adam locked into it and was like, "This is really cool," but then I couldn't keep it going because my fingers kept because I'm playing it on bass and it was like this weird riff and it was in 6/8 and I was like, "There's too much happening," and he was like, "No, keep it going, keep it. We'll try and record it so that we remember this." And every time I just kept slipping it up. And I was like, "Can I play this? if we write this song, can I do this?" Well, yeah, I know. I'm not gonna be able to sing to that. Maybe enough practice.
Was there more than one string in this riff?
Yeah, there was.
Well, there you go. There's your
There was
problem.
all 4 strings in that riff. All 4 strings and 6/8, and I have to sing in it. Nah, screw that.
4 and 6. That's like 10 things to think
Way
about.
too much.
So I've got a 2-year-old at home, or almost 2. So like when she goes down to bed at night and I'm there, I can't go out anywhere. So I'm like straight on the computer, recording little guitar riffs and putting
Yep.
demos together, throwing them up on the band thread, going, right, try that, next one, try that.
Yeah.
And it like 90% of the time it comes to nothing.
Yeah.
But they sit there and I'm sure that one day they'll bubble away into something. And I think it's sort of, a lot of our songs have a slightly disjointed nature to them.
Yeah.
Like they sort of take you out to left field when you're not quite expecting it, but I think that kind of comes
I
from...
love that. Yeah. There's
Yeah.
two completely different bits.
Yeah, that's.
Like,
I mean, that's
two completely different
yeah.
bits right beside each other. Because one of the things that I keep telling everybody is dynamics. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm all about that. Even
all
whenever,
about the
whenever we're recording and stuff, I'm like, no, Chris, play quieter. You're like, okay. I'm like, no, but then play louder. You know,
Yeah.
it's that difference is what I'm trying to
We
get, and like we've got some great songs for that.
That's cool. It's something we're working on a bit more too. I mean, that's essentially what I was saying about the way B Button writes a song is like, you know, they take something. One of us will come in with some idea of a song, and then we kind of try and take it apart and make it a bit weirder, and then do something exactly what you're saying. There's in most of our songs there'll be something where it just like boom,
Yeah.
we're into something.
That's one of the
something different.
kind of just goes.
Yeah.
We have a couple of songs that just like it's song A and then oh go
Yeah,
and then,
song B.
Oh wait,
yeah.
no, song B now.
We have this song. You guys will hear it whenever we play the EP launch together. Because I don't think any of you guys have heard it. We've only played it live like twice or something. April 27th at the Pavilion. Support from these fellas. Yeah, it's a song called Candy Apples, and I really think it's.
I already love it.
Thanks.
all about
Oh,
it.
it sounds sweet.
It's not. It's actually really depressing, but
What's wrong with you?
yeah, it's it sort of starts out and you think it's going one way, and half the song is instrumental. Like it just all of a sudden, and we kind of done that with Raw Meat as well, which is another song of ours where it's like there's lyrics.
But these all like
your sad. This is gonna make me hungry. Like
It's
food
like-
based.
Yeah, food
we're a
based.
food-based band.
Yeah.
But we sort of do
eggs,
this thing where it's
raw
like an A section of a song where it's like what you would expect. There's like a verse, a chorus, a verse, a chorus, and then whenever you get to the bridge, we just sprawl off into some sort of instrumental band for like about 4 minutes.
Yeah.
But yeah, we sort of, it's just what you're saying with dynamics. Me and Adam started doing that for the part where we go into the ending of Candy Apples. We did this part where all of a sudden he started getting really quiet towards the end of the bridge whenever we're going into the like this big ending, and then I was like, right, okay, we should all do that. So then we all just palm mute, and all of a sudden this song just gets really low,
Yeah.
and then it just explodes into something. I was like, that's cool. We've never really done anything like that before, so
Love stuff like that.
Anybody want anything else?
I'm all good.
I'll take a beer, Mike. I might as well.
Bear me goose.
Oh, we're doing question answer time.
Yeah.
Question answer
I
time.
know nothing, so I'll just give it to you.
Yeah, I'll probably just like, I guess, put one question to each person, like that or something, because I think there's about 4 or 5 of them here. So.
What are we being tested on?
Oh no, it's just
Mass Effect trivia? 'Cause
I'm going on girth or width?
I put up
I kind of strive both. Sorry.
I put up a Q&A this morning just for people if they wanted to drop questions in. So there's a few questions.
I noticed, and then I just shied away from the post because I didn't want to see
Yeah.
the question.
Don't want any spoilers. No spoilers. Okay, so yeah, I done like an open Q&A to people on Facebook this morning just to see if they had any questions they wanted to send in, and we got a couple here, and hopefully if people like it, then I'm just gonna keep doing it every time for the guests that are on. And there's some really good ones in here where whenever I'm reading them, I'm like, yes, I kind of want to know what other people think of this too. So the first one, I suppose we'll just take it in turns. I don't know who wants to answer the first one, but we can pass it down the chain, just get individual thoughts on it.
If it turns out we don't know them, we'll just pass it.
Yeah, we'll just throw it on to someone else.
There's going to be a lot of, and then the sound of a mic moving.
Yeah. Well, it's cool. Like, you can all have a comment on it for sure. So the first one that was sent in says, should local bands release full albums, or are EPs and singles a better way to go due to more consistent releases over a period of time? I constantly argue each case in my head, and I like to hear more opinions on it, which is funny because it's a conversation we had in B Button recently. So I kind of want
controversy. Right. My personal opinion on this, the way music is released these days, it's quite easy to get a single out. and have it spread like all over. In the last band we had airplay in the States and all sorts of things going on. Like, it was really easy, not easy, but easier than it used to have been to just get sort of...
Relatively simple.
Yeah, relatively simple. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. So for me, in my head, sort of, I see a consistent release of singles to keep that sort of flow of fresh music going. And when you get to the point that you've got an EP's worth, of maybe releasing an EP of it, sort of covering the singles that you've done, or an album's worth. Now, whether you choose to go back and re-record, knowing the experience you've got of those songs, or, you know, using those as demos, whatever, personal choice. But for me, I think slow, steady releases, and if you're at the stage where you can tour, and you are touring a certain amount of songs, and then you want to do a new album to tour, great. You know, if you've got that ability and you've got the money behind you to do that sort of shit, why not? But this stage, when you're on a little scene like this, one song at a time, and just go for it.
Totally.
May I just add,
Of course.
just as you were saying there, I've heard a band as big as Muse are near enough doing identically what you said there. It's just bringing out singles.
Yeah.
You know, like
They
dig
did say
dig
that,
down. Yeah.
Last year, a couple of years
Yep.
ago. And guess what happened?
Album.
They released an album.
Well, yeah.
They
Well,
they all start that way.
It's just,
Supposedly
it's
that's-
interesting to see that there's bands of that stature
Mhm.
are thinking along the same lines.
Well, it wasn't Dig Down just a single, I think.
But there's
And
an
then-
album apparently
Yeah,
on the
but-
way,
yeah,
but
they-
they are just singles, and there's a lot
Yeah.
of space between them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that
was only out a couple of years ago.
What? Sorry.
Drones was out. When was it? 2016.
It might have been earlier. Wasn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know, but it was
14,
pretty.
15.
There was someone with a
My opinion, it was pretty
connection to
bad.
the internet.
Oh,
Could clarify that.
I can try.
Don't take your
You
tip
need
on
a
that.
Jamie. That's what you need.
Yeah.
I know. I do need a Jimmy. Young Jimmy.
I'm pretty sure it was 2016.
I'll find out.
But that's the trend. Like EPs and singles.
I thought it
Uh,
was Dig Down, not
like-
15.
See, me listening to like hip hop and stuff as well. Like that's pretty much what they're doing. It's just single after single after single after single. EP released at midnight, streamed all over, and that's the way they do it.
Yeah.
No album in maybe 2 years. It's just EPs and singles.
Yeah,
And that's
'cause
all it is.
You can view it as like a single is kind of like a bite-sized chunk of art, whereas an album is like an entire meal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if
Yeah.
you don't like, you know, if you release a lot of singles, then that's probably why they're called tasters.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So
I have...
It's 2016. No,
15.
2015. Sorry. Yeah.
2015.
2015. Close.
Adam doesn't have an opinion apparently.
Yeah.
They're good.
Both are good.
I feel like for new bands starting off, it's not a bad idea to maybe just go with singles to begin with, obviously, because you could get a really really bad recording, or like a really bad studio, really bad producer, or your songs might not be your best work yet.
Scratch, yeah.
And if you spend, you know, the money to go in and recording an album, especially if someone who does charge hourly, and they record an album and that's all you have to put yourself with, trying to get gigs with bad material is worse than if you don't have material, I feel.
Yeah, if you've got a good song
Yeah.
that's well done, well written, well played, well recorded. Even the recording doesn't even matter as long as you've got a good song. People will hear that and go, "Oh, there we go, that's a good
Yeah.
song." But if you've got 10 bad songs,
Yeah.
people are gonna be like, "These guys suck."
Yeah.
I feel
Okay.
like especially starting off, singles are definitely a way to go. Then like I said, you can record, you know, all the singles you want and then put them together as like an EP at the end of it. Like I was a few years ago to my favorite band's a Canadian band called Protesta Hero. And what they
Shout
did
out.
was they released it's like a mini album called Pacific Myth.
Mhm.
But what they did was every month for I think it was 6 months they released one song, and at the end of the 6 months it was then presented as an EP. But the way they used that was to show what the new stuff they're working on is, because they, you know, swapped drummers, they swapped bassists, so they were trying to
Yeah.
get a new, more progressive sound, I suppose, coming from like the more mathcore kind of routes. So they were showing what they were doing, so that really helped them get some new fans in because it was showing what the new stuff's going to be. And it really helped them because like they're doing a lot better now than they were, because they were quite, like they were doing well, but they were quite underground, I guess. They're not
They
overly well
were
known.
known in their
Yeah,
circles
yeah,
that
yeah,
they
yeah.
were known in.
Sure, sure.
Yeah.
But now they've sort of reached out more, like they're doing more headline tours and a lot more of that. Pacific Myth releasing it the way they did really helped them because they do a lot of attending as well. It was like, oh, every month they'll go on this one song, so every month people would come back to see what's the new song going to be and what's it going to be like, and they were all kind of drastically different from each other.
Yeah.
And that was a big draw. And me being a fan since like 2003 or something like that.
Yeah.
I was so excited.
Yeah, you were well into
because it was really good for me because we hadn't had anything for like 2 years, and I was like, a new song every month. Are you serious? I was really excited about
Yeah.
The new Tool album.
it.
It's happening.
It's happening.
What?
What?
Half-Life 3, what?
But is it?
I almost had it.
Somebody fucking slept through that bit of news.
Hey, yo.
Fucking dead.
But
Damn.
speaking
Okay.
about like drip feeding kind of singles, even John Mayer,
Yeah.
my boy.
Yeah,
he
boy.
did that last year. He actually drip fed EPs. He had a
I
couple of
remember
EPs,
this actually. Yeah.
once a month, and then he just released an album,
Yep.
which was a pretty cool idea. It just goes to show like he could release a double album if he wanted, and people would still listen to it.
Yeah.
But
like
he
it comes
chose
down his
to.
star
He
as well.
chose to. But even he's well established. He could release an album, and people would still listen to it. But
Yeah.
he chose to say, "Nope, I'm going to release a little bit at a time." So
Yeah. I mean,
it
like,
worked both ways.
I don't want to. These questions are meant to be more for you, but I don't want to take over here. But I just,
I'll give you your opinion.
I have a lot of it. I could do a whole podcast on this question, which is pretty bad. I just have so many thoughts
What are you
on
doing
it.
after this?
Because I know this is advice, obviously, from somebody who's looking to see what to do with their band. So, like, yeah, I gotta get my mind straight for it because there's so many thoughts on it. But like, I think they are both good, right? I don't think there's really a right answer. I wouldn't worry too much about consistent releases in that way because, right, you can put an EP out and it's not gonna land like immediately. That's just not gonna happen. It doesn't usually. You're gonna put it out. We're about to launch an EP, and I don't expect everybody to listen to it on release date. I think it's gonna be months before certain people who I even know are gonna listen to it.
I'm not going to listen to it.
You're probably not gonna listen to it.
Nah, but-
I don't
Of course
expect.
I'll listen to it.
I might.
It just even if you have a real interest in the band, like I find myself as a musician, like, you know, there's these people on the local scene. I was like, oh, they have a new thing out, and it's kind of like I do want to get around to it, but even as someone with a major interest into it,
Yeah.
I'm not getting it straight away. And what you can do is you can bring that EP out, and at least the songs are accessible, which is kind of the more important thing. Like, so they are there if somebody hears you, if they discover you, whatever, they can look you up, and then they're just there.
Yeah.
So they can discover that on their own terms. But there's nothing that stops you from plugging it single by single, even though the whole thing's out.
Yeah.
That would be
Exactly.
my point, is like you do, you know, put the thing out and it's out there. Some people discover it that way. Some people discover it whenever you do a music video for it. Like, do a music video for each song. If there's only 3 or 4 on it, you can just keep plugging them individually after it and
Yeah.
get as much as you
It's the
can
bite.
out of 3-4 songs.
It's a bite of the entire thing.
Yep.
You know, you can put it out there to milk this analogy even more.
Yes.
You know,
I mean, like the other thing, right, as well, whenever it comes to talking about either an album, right? Because that's just like if you want to do consistent releases and you're afraid of doing an EP because you're like, do I put the whole EP out or do I do it one song at a time? But you
Yeah.
don't want to overhype
people
yourself.
could look at it and go, nah, 20 minutes, fuck that.
Yeah, exactly. But that's what I mean. Is like some people want that, some people don't. That's why there's no correct answer. So it's like do both. Like
Yeah.
put the EP out and it's there and people can listen to it as one full piece of art, and then other people can hear a song they like. People who don't want to listen to a full EP.
Yeah.
But the point is more around, I think if you're gonna do an album, just make sure that you're not doing an album just because you've recorded a bunch of songs in
Yeah.
different places, because that, to me, that's not what an album is. It's not just a collection of songs. It's like a vibe in one package.
Yeah.
So it's like you're making this one piece of art. So it's not just that it's longer than an EP. You don't just do 4 songs with one producer, do 4 songs with another, and stick it together and call it an album.
It can work, but, you know.
It can, but it's all got to be in the same vein, right? Because
Yeah.
some people just do this and work up a list of songs that could be years apart with completely different styles because you've grown over time as
Yeah.
musicians, and then you're like, well, we'll stick it all together and call it our first album. It's like, to me, that's not what it is.
Yeah.
And
technically, yeah, it's an album of songs, but it's not a record.
It's not gonna land
More of a
properly.
compilation,
yeah, it's like a compilation.
I
That's a good
think
point.
one of the best bands around here on our local scene that have done it right is Civil Simian, who have
Yeah.
released a full length album, and it's a journey of an album. Like, it's so well put together from start to finish with recurring themes and stuff like that. That's like, to me, that's what an album is. So I would just discourage anybody from just sticking a whole bunch of things together.
Yeah, I mean, it really comes down to sort of quality as well over quantity of it as well. If you don't have good work to show, there's no point having an album, like spending the time and effort to make an album off work that's going to be subpar, like going to and putting that out there as your work. I think, especially for saying like a band starting off, like a new band coming out who wants to sort of promote themselves, worry about getting maybe 1 to maybe 2 good, well-recorded singles. That's going to be what you're going to promote yourself with to begin with.
Yeah, that's going to represent
Yeah.
you better
And
than
as well as that, not everyone's going to have the
4, 5, 10 tracks of.
Well, again, that's another point for an album, because an album generally isn't 10 tracks of singles. It's not 10 singles in a row. It's highs and lows. It's deep cuts and
it's
bangers.
It's read as like
There's
a
the
book,
singles.
not just a
Yeah,
short story.
There's the singles, and then there's
Yeah.
not the filler. That's not the right word for.
You would
this
you would think that 10 singles in a row of your best material would be the best thing, but it just isn't. It's not what works for an
They
album.
have to finish themselves.
You can't-
Look at Ed
have to
Sheeran.
be.
He's rolling in it, and at one point he had, what was it, the entire top 10.
It was like 9 of the
Yeah.
top 10 were either his or written by him.
Yeah.
So he was 90% of the top 10.
Yeah.
At
That
one
tells
point.
you more about music consumption than anything else. really.
Yeah,
Irrelevant.
that is true.
Like, don't forget-
Irrelevant to the point, but yes, I know that. Well, that's where you start to go too high, and that's why I'm not trying to.
Yeah.
I don't want to go away from my point too much, because I know it's more of a question for personally, what do I do on this level, and like there's certain bands where I on a higher level, like really famous bands who, whenever they do put out repeated singles, I find it harder to consume that way. I don't know, because I'll overhear something. Right, I'm waiting for the album to land, and I want the album to be great from start to finish with highs and lows.
Yeah.
But if you drop the single after single with months in between, and they get overplayed for me, then
you don't listen to the album.
I skip them on the album,
I
and
did-
then I'm
I
not
did
getting the
exact
album
same vibe
experience.
recently. There's a band called Good Tiger. They released an album called We Will All Be Gone.
They are good.
Yeah, the Good Tigers. Yeah.
They're really
but,
good Tigers.
They released so when I pre-ordered the album on iTunes after the first single came out, and by the time the album came out, seeing any time those singles come up, I just have to skip past them because I've listened to them so much between the time of here's the single to the album. I can't listen to them. Like, there's still great songs, like the quality's there. It's really well written, but it's being overplayed to me that I just have to. Oh, those please skip.
Yeah.
That's on a different level, but I guess what I'd end the point on, for like my opinion, is that I just wouldn't worry about it too much, because you'll debate back and forth, because everybody's different, and that's the hard thing about music in general, is that there's no correct answer. I would just do what you feel is right, throw it out there.
Just do it. Like,
Yeah, if you
want to release an EP, release an EP. Like, even
I
if
just
it's-
wouldn't give a damn about the release date. Like, we've worked up to our EP launch, and in some ways I wish we'd just released it already, so that there wasn't, you're overhyping, and
Yeah,
people don't
that's what I
like
think we
that
should
either.
do for whiskey to come back. Just once we get it
Just
finished,
throw it.
Drop it.
Yeah,
throw it
don't
out
start
there,
like, I mean, we've been talking about this forever, because we kept thinking it would be done sooner, and you're almost better, because it's hard, you get excited about it,
You
and
didn't
it's,
want to release some of the songs as DLC.
yeah, I really did.
I feel like we're maybe starting to get into that whole thing of whiskey, because we started whiskey back when we had old Adam,
What was it, November?
Yeah, it was a long time ago. I remember you guys.
So we were teasing
started
it
recording
back then with like drum.
There was
teases and
videos
bass
of you
teases and
guys
stuff.
recording.
Yeah. So
And
I think I'm starting to get a bit worried that when Whiskey Fine drops, going to be like, oh, was that it? kind of idea. Even though I love
But
the
it's
song,
like,
but
yeah, I think it's just a result of the fact that we're all so busy, and the fact that like we're doing it
we had a few
ourselves.
changes as well.
I would just say, from an outside perspective, I don't think you guys have done that. I've seen the videos of you guys recording, but you've never really gone out there and said, this new single called This is coming out on
Yeah.
such a date, or it's going to come out in a few weeks, or big news announcement
think-
on whatever.
I
Like,
don't like
You
that.
did that.
It-
with, I think
it's hard. It's hard.
You did that
Yeah.
with Lost Cause, and then you missed the day you said you were
Yeah.
going
Yeah.
to do
It's
it.
difficult.
Because it didn't go up on Spotify on the day. I think you'd done it. With
That
the-
happens. That happens as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to get really ahead of the
Nobody
game
noticed.
for that.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I said. For like, you don't want to. I'm not saying put yourself down with it, but it's just the way people consume it, especially on Facebook, where the algorithm's not always in your favor.
Yeah.
You could post 1,000,000 times and it might not hit people.
Yeah.
Like, their algorithm's fucked up. It doesn't work chronologically. It doesn't matter if it's the latest post.
Post that hit every
Yeah.
single one of your like,
Yeah.
followers, but the majority of your posts is going to be like, you know, something someone will scroll past on the daily
Yeah.
Facebook, Twitch.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I don't like. I just wouldn't want anybody to be discouraged from it, because it's like, yeah, put it out and it's there. You can access it. If you play a show and people look you up, there's the music that you
Yeah.
played. It's right there. So just get it out,
Yeah,
and then
100%.
just promote it afterwards. PR it after
there you
it's
go.
out.
But once a single's released, it isn't done. That's just the start of it.
Yeah.
basically.
See, Dahlia released. I can't even remember when they released their EP 12. But they just
That was
they-
2000 and I think it was the end of 2016.
ended.
I don't know if I trust your dates anymore.
No. I think he's right though. So ended
I-
2016, early
It
2017.
was just after I'd moved into my flat,
Yeah.
and that was the end of 2016. So.
And then they did the first podcast with us where they talked about they were shooting a music video for a song from that EP. They're still pushing it. It just came out recently, and new people are discovering it via the music video. And I was like, it's like almost 2 years old. Change, and the video's really good. Yeah, so I recommend you look it up, or go back to the first podcast and hear about all the
just did not.
drama of them
Someone
filming
say
it.
balls?
It's hilarious.
Yeah.
There's balls in it. Yeah.
I'm excited. Can we watch it after? Yeah.
Yeah, David's like totally naked in it. It's hilarious.
Steal my thing.
Of being naked.
That's my thing.
That's my thing. I'm the one naked
Yeah,
one.
that's Chris's
Okay,
thing.
well, yeah, I knew there would be a lot of
He
time
doesn't
on that
actually have a
question.
double kick pedal.
Just hope for the best.
You gotta go and watch that first podcast, because there's a story about why it's hilarious. In the video, you'll notice that they don't have like half a drum kit, because they were on. I go into it again, but they were on somebody's property and they came out and destroyed the drum kit on them. So then in
Spoiler alert, by the way.
if you watch if you watch the music video, you'll see them. There's just this one part where they just point at the drum kit and there's just like a little frog meme pops up because there's no kit there and he's just pretending to play on something. But if you don't know the story, it's not you don't know what's happening. So you gotta go back and watch it.
Creative choice. Yeah, creative choice.
Yeah, you gotta go and watch the podcast to hear what shit went out. It just started crazy.
Possibly we'll go.
man.
we'll go
Yeah,
backwards
sorry,
from
we'll
this one.
we'll move on.
100%.
We'll move on.
That was a very in-depth topic, to be fair.
I sorta knew it
I'm
would
really
be.
enjoying this. Like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of good stuff to be said.
The best thing about doing these Q&As, I think, is bands being here as guests, us on the table, and then somebody asking a question, all being in the same boat of like, hey, I think about that too.
Yeah, that's
We all don't know. It's like he's asking advice, like sending it in, being like, do we have the answer for him? And I was like, I don't think there is an answer. You know, like what do we think is the best thing to do? And it's like, well, nobody fucking knows. We're all doing it
I
differently.
think musically it's all
Yeah.
everyone's own opinion, because it doesn't matter. You could have the best thing in the world to you.
Yeah.
But if
You-
someone else doesn't like what you're doing, then they're not going to like what you're doing. Like, the stuff I appreciate, it's done
Yeah.
very well musically, but it's like, I'm not going to sing.
Yeah, like Soulja Boy was really popular. Do you remember Soulja Boy?
Yeah.
What a fucking terrible song.
He told them.
Soulja Boy up in the.
Yo,
Oh,
does anyone remember Friday, though?
That terrible. That's a great song.
Friday? Fucking
Yeah.
right, man.
I do a banging cover of that.
You know,
Back to
Soulja Boy
covers.
had another song.
Saturday.
What was it?
Oh.
Kiss Me Through the Phone or
Kiss me
something?
through the phone.
Yeah, boy, it was good.
Horrible.
Anyways,
She's in the Rebecca Black was in the Katy Perry video.
Friday
Friday
Night
night,
video.
yeah.
she's
Oh,
creepy.
Rebecca, no, she'd never do anything like that.
Anyway,
Anyway, next question, what?
Okay,
next question.
so there's a couple here. What's the best one to ask first? Okay, well, there's one that says, what do you feel is the most effective way to reach your potential fan base? So, like, online through social media, I suppose paying for sponsored ads on social media, just in person at shows. Like, what do you find is the best way to gain fans?
Shit.
I can go first if you want to think about it.
Yeah.
I've seen the
Walk
questions
away.
first, so I can have my own opinion on them. But it's like everything. There's not really a right way to do it. But like I touched on with the previous thing, is that if you're gonna use social media, I think it's I sound so old whenever you say social media.
When you use the Facebook,
Right. It's so good to set you up, right? And you need it. Like, there's no getting around it. You need it. Parts of me wish I didn't have to have Facebook. I use it majorly for promoting my music. What's going on there? Any word on the street? Yeah, I mean, I think every band's going to go on, and it's kind of fun once you first set it up, and it's like, this is your band, here's your artwork, you put it all up there, and you'll gain, like, some fans from that, because your friends and family will come over, but they probably would have knew about it anyway, if we're honest. So, to me, what I've learned over years of gigging is that the best way to get fans is, like, that classic thing of building it one at a time, and it is insanely slow, but
really
you
is.
get an actual fan at the end of it. And you like play a show and somebody comes up and you spend like 30 minutes or an hour talking to them after a show. Yeah. And then they walk away and they're a fan of the band
That's it.
for
They
real.
remember you, and that's it. I
It's
think
crazy.
the only thing anybody ever needs to remember is don't be a dick.
It's
Like,
true.
That is
Very true.
literally it.
Don't.
I was at a gig the other week, and I'm not going to name the names, but I was at the bar in between sets, and I was at the bar. I had my money in my hand. I was waiting at the bar for the people who were being served at the end to finish, so that the barman could come up to me. And this man comes up and just butts in front of me, like literally right in front of me. There was an entire bar, and he was like right in front of me there. And he gets served first, and he didn't even say like. But anyway, they went on after, and I just didn't want to watch them.
Yeah. Because you knew he was a bit
I didn't
of
know
an
who he
asshole.
was whenever he did it, but as soon as
Yeah.
I saw that he was the front man, I was like,
personality really
yeah,
affects you.
it really does. Like, but they're tight as hell. They're a really good band, but I didn't want
Yeah.
to like actually watch them.
So yeah, I mean, like I've been to gigs where the headlining act will pitch up, do their sound check late, mind you, so everybody's already been sat around waiting for ages.
Yeah.
Then they fuck off home,
Yeah.
and then they pitch up about 5 minutes before they go on stage, and you sort of like, firstly, you suck ass, so don't really be blowing yourself that fucking much. But also, like, what sort of respect are you showing to everybody else that's given up their time to be there? Like,
I don't. Yeah, I'll never really understand it, because since day one, the way we've been doing sound checks and stuff is that whenever we get asked to come at a certain time, then we come at that time.
exactly. I mean, that's
And most musicians don't. Like, I don't know whether it's just a trait and they're just flaky, but the majority of people come so late, and not all the bands there and whatever, and it's just crazy. It's like, well, I just thought if they say be at this time, then whatever. Sometimes we're there before the promoter.
I mean, I look at
It's crazy.
I think
Like,
we've been there way before we were meant to be there, and we help set up, we help take down.
that's what I try and do. You just try and help out, because we're all trying to put on the exact same thing, so I don't really understand what people's problem is. But like your point of what you're saying is like, you know, whenever you're saying like building fans and whenever, and you can do it one person at a time, a lot of the times the people that you're growing your fan base with are other musicians to start with.
exactly, but that's how you
So
do
be
it.
nice
you
to
know?
them.
It's, I mean, just the fact that our last gig list that we posted, I tag every fucking band we're playing with. And you know what? Am I trying to steal a few fans? Fucking too right, I am.
Yeah,
But at the same
for sure.
time, I'm showing them the respect of the fact that, you know what, you might not want to come see us, but these guys are playing live as well, so just go see somebody.
Yeah, I think that's probably a really good point, and something to do more on social media. Like, people don't always use it the right way. They think whenever they're hyping up their thing, like big announcement this Friday or whatever, everyone's gonna care about it. It's like, maybe you should use it more to like actually tell other musicians what you think. Like, I've been doing that as much as I can in the last year maybe, and it's the reason we started the podcast. Is like, I'm not trying to be fake about it. It's just like, if I actually think something's good, I'm not just gonna go listen to it in private. It's like, you know how much that means to somebody when they hear it and they're like trying so hard and they think nobody gives a shit. It's like, let them know. That's a place to start to grow a fan base, is like, tell other musicians if you like their stuff
But I
and
mean,
why
my
you like
favorite
it.
place to hear another band is live.
Yeah,
Like, and it always will be.
that's where you
is-
actually like fall in love with a band. Like you don't overly do it on the record. It's once you see them, especially on the local scene. I feel if you see somebody and then you talk to them and they're also nice people, you're like, I'm in.
When you see them live, that's when their personality comes through. Because we listen to stuff like Lost Cause, it's very sort of like the lyrics are a bit sort of down in dumps, blah blah blah.
Yeah, Aaron.
Like, you're a Slav squad, and we're competing about who's going to get the most naked. You know, Simon's calling out the crowd. You know, like we're having
Too many solos.
Like we're having fun with it. You know, but if you listen to like the Lost Cause and Whiskey as well, they're both quite sort of mellowed out, sort of.
I just say I'm kind of glad you said that though, because that
I'm okay. I'm fine.
what you said there is the exact reason why there's a Crow's Nest podcast, is because behind music and image and logos and artwork and stuff, it's like there's the people who are usually pretty cool. So like
at the end of the day, we're all just people
Hang
trying
on.
to make cool shit.
the idea for the Crow's Nest is like that moment that I'm talking about where you grow a fan, where you talk to them for an hour after the show and you're like, oh, that guy was actually really cool and he likes playing Assassin's Creed just like I do, and you have something in common. That's the point of this, is like not everybody sticks around for it, so it's like maybe if we put it on YouTube and Facebook, then people will get that hour interaction that they should be getting at gigs.
As well as building a fan base as well. Like, you know, you may talk to someone after a gig, you know, that you wouldn't normally talk to, and then find out that they've maybe got a band as well. And you're both starting off at the same time. You're both in similar kind of, you know, vein.
Yeah.
That could be
genre.
that's not only a fan, that's a friend, that's a connection you've just made with that person. So
Yeah.
they're putting on a gig and like, oh, you know, such and such has dropped out. But I did talk to that radio. I talked to that Simon guy from Romeo, and he was really chill. Do what? I'll see if he's available. He was a bellend. Yeah, he's a bellend. Like,
And he's also
But
an
that's
engineer
all
that
it takes,
charges cheapish rates, and it's like that could be really useful for us. It's like that's why you talk to people.
Yeah,
like
it's
people
like,
do
you
things
don't
and they
know
want to
what
help
person's
you.
gonna be like the guys from Sit Tight, like they're all so like Nigel is just such a character, you know.
Yeah.
Like, but you talk to those guys, you get on with them. You're more than happy to, if you're putting a show on, you need someone to fill. It's like, yo, Sit Tight, they're really good guys. Give them a call.
Yeah.
Even the guys from Surf Green, like they play, you know, like people think punk music, they're going to be all, you know, punky, I guess.
Yeah.
But they're generally really nice guys.
They
all of
are
them.
super
So-
nice people.
So that's what I'm saying. If
Really down to earth.
if you need to think of somebody, you're going to think of people like Sit Tight and Surf Green who appeal as good people as well as good
Yeah.
musicians. You're not going to think of like, oh, remember that band that showed up, played, and then pissed off and took half the crowd.
That's
They're
that's
reliable. Like it's
You're never going to go talk to those people.
it's the worst thing you can do. Is
yeah,
just
it's obvious that they care as well. Like,
Yeah.
and that's what gets my goat, is whenever you can tell that a band just doesn't.
they don't care.
Really, you want really grinds my gears. Yeah, it's whenever it's obvious that a band doesn't care about other bands, and that is
Yeah.
what gets it for me.
They show up like
It's
rock
people-
and roll royalty, like
Show
come
like
in,
rock
play
and roll royalty,
play the show,
Um,
leave.
do the sound check, piss off to, I don't know, probably like a teddy bar or something.
That's all. I can only imagine that's where they're
like,
going.
they want you to think that they're off to like the strip club, or
Yeah.
Strip clubs in Northern Ireland? No, you know what?
he's tried.
He's been looking. I've looked into it.
We
Yeah,
all
so
It's like as soon as you turn 18, teddy bars. Oh.
That's unfortunate. I gotta give a shout out to Adam Grant. He's doing his EP launch. Or sorry, I say EP launch. It's actually an album launch now. It's all changed because he ended up with a whole load more recording time and stuff. So he's launching his album on the 29th of April. And he's playing with a full backing band, which is totally different for him. So like, I'm trying to work my work schedule out because I really want to go to it. I'm like really interested to see what he does with a band because I've never seen him play with a band before. So I think that's gonna be really cool. But like, there's pre-order tickets and stuff. Just go and check out his Facebook, and there's support from Plasticine Porters and Helter Skelter, and it's at McHugh's Bar. But you could have like a fucking crazy weekend if you wanted, because they hit the B button EP launch with RIR and support is on the 27th of April. Yeah,
The
boy.
night before that,
Battle of the Bands.
Is Battle of the Bands.
Yeah, that's a way.
Battle Royale. We're playing Fortnite.
Have you seen Simon's big post about that? Took the word battle quite.
I misunderstood the concept.
You thought you'd
I thought
actually
it was a fight to the death.
fighting people, yeah.
But it wasn't.
But yeah, man, I mean, starts on Thursday. Go see a Battle of Bands and vote for RIR. Then come see them support us at the EP launch on the Friday.
Buying EP.
Saturday, I don't know, take a break. There's probably something good on. I'm pretty sure Saturday is the what's that thing? The live room thing that I seen today on Facebook.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's gonna be very.
it's hard to get into. It's not like you can. I don't know. I'll see if I can get it up here for y'all. Yeah, no, the live room. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's like, the guys that start together are trying to set up something that's a bit like, I guess, like our version of. I don't know. I hate saying that.
Very cool so far.
It's really cool. It's like
See, the first
it's like
session
some.
was, and so I watched you from afar.
It's like something like Tiny Desk Concert or, you know, one of those things where like, what's the other one? Like fucking KEXP and stuff like that. It's like that version where you get like a band in and then they perform live and it's all mic'd up really well and then they video it for you. But they have a YouTube page and I would highly recommend to go on it. But I know. Anyways, they don't usually have, I don't think, audiences really in on them, but they're doing one in like a secret location on that Saturday, and there's a thing up on their Facebook page at the minute, which hopefully I get up for you, and yeah, there it is. Yeah, it is. It's on the 20th, and it's a Word Up collective, so it seems to be hip hop artists based in Dublin, I think it was. And they're doing this performance for the live room, but I don't know where it's a secret location, but all you have to go in and do is RSVP to it, and then you're meant to be in with a chance of winning 2 tickets to go see all of these people. But it just looks really cool, and I'm hoping I win them. Not many at the minute, but maybe I shouldn't be talking about this because I really want the tickets. So, you know,
Everyone go RSVP right now.
please don't.
Even if you don't want to go.
But you could RSVP to that, and there is a possibility that you could be going to that on Saturday and then go to Adam Grant's album launch on Sunday.
Sounds like a good weekend.
And yeah, that is basically the bottom of the show, fellas.
Bottom of the 9th.
I just say it was a blast having you here.
Yeah, thank you.
And please, go on the old Romeo Indigo Romeo Facebook page because there is a whole shitload of shows that you could go to. There are not really any excuses not to go to them. There's so many in so many different locations that like you're bound to be free.
We cover a lot of Northern Ireland.
Yeah.
I'll say a lot of Northern Ireland. A lot of the east part of Northern Ireland. We still have to get the notoriety to
get
out the other
branch out. And is there anything you guys want to tag on to the end? Or are you happy enough?
Make it to the EP launch if you can, because it's going to be a good show, just us and B-Button especially. So
yeah, man. That's the one I hope people come to.
Buy B-Button EP, show support.
Yeah,
local
man.
scene and all that.
Yeah, the EP will be out on the same day if anybody is confused about that, but it will more than likely be out in the morning, and then we're just playing the show to celebrate it that night.
Physical copies be available, will they? Or?
Yeah, don't know yet. It kind of depends, but there may be some bootleg copies available, but we'll figure that out. Yeah.
Cassettes, yeah.
Well, it's all.
I'm gonna rip it and put it straight on Pirate Bay.
I'm surprisingly okay with it.
What you can do is you can
I've no idea what you're talking about.
Just fill your pocket.
I don't get the reference.
Sell links. Sell the link.
That's incredible.
The link written on a little sheet of paper.
Yeah, sell your,
Here's a link to the toilet, the torrent. I need another.
Fuck,
page.
I think I could tell you were thinking about it. Yeah, okay, so we'll wrap up so Simon can go to the toilet. But
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, we're gonna go play Crazy Taxi.